And we're live
again. Natasha got me. Okay, I'm gonna use both hands to pick it up because one, it's expensive. Two, it's awesome. Wait, hold on.
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm trying to make the screaming sound of the twin ion engine.
Yeah. The TIE Fighter.
Yeah,
that's dope.
TIE Fighter tiki mug.
Oh, it's a tiki mug?
Yeah, I'm gonna be using this.
Oh, hell yeah.
So we get married in 2 Saturdays from now.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna be holding this buddy everywhere we go. Be like, fill this up. I got married.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really fucking cool.
Yeah. Why did I bring that up?
I don't know. I could see it in the background. I was curious.
I remember why I brought it up. I remember. Oh, also, doesn't that look like a butthole?
Yes. Here. Yes, it does. It most certainly does. Yes.
Yeah. It's like a sandworm or something.
In Dune.
Yes. Thanks for explaining it. Yeah, it's not like all the other famous examples.
All the other
sandworms. Yeah. Beetlejuice has sandworms. True. I think worms. They got big worms.
There's worms.
Big worm. What's up, big perm? That's right. We're on the same page. And he fakes counting the money.
Yeah.
Over. Yep. We've all seen Friday. This is a Friday themed podcast.
That movie came up this weekend. Actually, that's funny.
Oh, I can't wait to hear about your weekend. Actually, before we get there, I have a question for you, and then I have an opening sound. So this is Star Wars related. That happens to be there. It's good timing. That's going to be really fun to listen to. Me making TIE Fighter sounds poorly.
No, it was fun.
Okay. The cantina scene from New Hope, right?
Right.
A couple of thoughts. One, I'm afraid I'll forget. I saw this in a meme, and I think it's worth sharing. I won't take credit for it, but it's do you remember how Obi-Wan is like, this bar is filled with the most vile people in the universe? And it's like, everyone in the Empire literally killed everyone that you've ever known or cared about. And you're like, but these people are the most vile people in the universe because they smell and talk funny.
They're just trying to have a drink and enjoy themselves out in the the backwaters of the universe.
Yeah. My friend doesn't like your I've forgotten the lines. Young me would be mad at me. Let me load this clip to play once we're done with. Oh no, it's gone.
No,
that's how I was going to start the show. Well, I better do a little work real quick. Don't worry, it's still on the internet.
Gotta go to the Wayback Machine, perhaps.
Yeah, we're good. I can edit this. Let me make a note. I keep not editing the opening of the show, and Natasha's like, "Hey, you left a lot of space there." I'm like, it's charm."
Yeah, it was charming space, Natasha. Charming.
Prior to 4 minutes, we'll just go with 4 minutes. That gives me padding. Okay, because who knows what else I'll fuck up between now and 20 seconds from now. All right, I have a question for you, dude. It's Star Wars related.
Okay.
So the cantina scene.
Yes.
Yes. Right? Like
yes.
Don't you make me play it on the saxophone.
If you played Lego Star Wars, that music is forever in your
brain. Really?
Yeah.
Is this a video game?
Yeah, video game.
Okay, got it.
It plays in the background for like a whole level.
I see. Yeah. Yes. Do you know what kind of music that is?
Calypso?
You would think. Why don't you do this? This is fun when you do it. I'll get this clip ready.
Okay.
You're going to find out live on the show what George Lucas in all his wisdom came up with for a name for the type of music.
Okay.
In the cantina scene. It's kind of jazz calypso, right? But it's what?
The music in the Mos Eisley Cantina in Star Wars is swinging instrumentals.
No.
Played by the 7-piece.
No. Yeah, well, yeah. What's the guy's name?
Figurin
Dan and something.
The modal nodes.
Modal nodes. Figurin Dan and the modal nodes. Yes. I'm gonna need you to also type in space Jizz and just.
Oh no, it's Jizz music.
You see it right there?
I see it. Jizz music.
Oh, it's gonna be so funny when I have you on tape saying, "Oh no, it's Jizz music."
It was the second result. They're playing the genre known as jizz. Jizz music is similar to our jazz music, as you would guess from the name.
Oh, fucking George Lucas.
What the fuck, George Lucas?
Yeah, it's
Fucking
like,
high
is this space jazz? Is we call this space jazz? And he's like, no, man, that's
Jizz.
just
Calm. That's just calm.
that's a little known tape of George Lucas talking about space jizz. Space jizz.
Wow.
Oh, is it too early for a show title? I don't think it is.
I don't think so.
All right, that was
never too early.
So fucking worth it. I'm so happy about
You
that.
never jizz too early, Dustin.
No, you can. Yeah, they don't like it actually. No, it's a whole thing. Is this the first time you've heard of this? I'm gonna play something for you. This was big all over the internet, and it seems to be getting scrubbed. So maybe people didn't see it before it started disappearing.
I've been somewhat off the grid. I have not seen this though.
Our first toss-up is worth $1,000.
This is Wheel of Fortune. Of course, you can tell those are the dulcet tones of right-wing extremist Pat Sajak. When did he turn into a fucking nut, by the way?
It's
if you told me he was there on January 6th, based off the other stuff I've heard, I would not be surprised.
Would not be surprised. Yeah.
Not C. Surprise. Well, that's not it. It's the B, not B. Surprise. Okay. I'm sorry. It's my brain. People get it. They're here.
They're here.
Category is phrase, and off we go.
Now, keep in mind, this is a phrase, and this is one of those games where it starts to fill in, and the faster you ring, it's not like you guess letters. It starts to fill in the puzzle automatically, so you're incentivized to ring in before anybody else, right?
Oh, okay.
So this incentivizes impulsive thinking, which may come into play here.
Okay.
So at this point, it's 4 letters, then 2 letters, then 3 letters, and then 4 letters with an exclamation point at the end. The second word starts with an I and has a blank afterwards. The third word, third word ends with an E. So like the second one could be in because it starts with I, right?
Sure.
And the last word, B, space, T, exclamation point.
So in the butt.
Hey, that's what if you're thinking on your toes.
Tavares, right in the butt? No. Blake.
This is the best.
Yeah.
He'll let me in his damn house.
Should be the same.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3.
It's close
It's a
enough.
change of pace. All right, you ready?
I am ready. Are you recording?
Yes. All right. Well, you want to start a show?
Let's start a show.
That podcast is filling your head with garbage.
No offense taken there.
Well, it sounds like none taken. Welcome to episode number 370 of Nerd Take It, the internet's only debate and current events show, with your hosts Dustin and Alan, two political nomads from two different worlds. Shout out to Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band for the use of their song Ways and Means for intro music. Thank you for joining us. The time of this recording, it is Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. It's a great day for America. We are two coastal elites coming to you from the shores of the mighty Cumberland in Madison, Tennessee, all the way to the Pacific waters of El Cerrito, California. Here to recap on another week of current events and sharing way too much of our tragic personal lives. Now, if you get ready, we're going to take a sledgehammer to the culture war echo chambers, and you're here for it, buddies. Because I listen to 13 hours of podcast a day. No, that's a different show. You can subscribe on all the places where you would listen to us, but I doubt you haven't subscribed already, unless this is your first time, in which case it's usually like this. Actually, this is actually a good representation of what we do every week. Yes. And you can find us on all our social media apps. I spend most of my time. Alan is online, but he's a little bit more with it in the brain and doesn't put himself through the anxiety-inducing effects of social media as much. I'll run the Instagram account. If you're on there, usually talking to me. We'll pretend like they talk to you too sometimes. Sometimes I like to pretend like I'm you when people don't know. They're like, I don't know which one of you this is. I'll be like, oh, I'm Alan. Hey, if you want to talk to us, hit us up on the DMs and Instagram. Follow us on Instagram. We got a group chat in there. If you're cool, we'll add you to the group chat. Except for my sister, no girls allowed. That's what was decided. Never got back to you about it. It's only boys in there, and like enough of them were like, no, don't bring a chick in here. And I was like, I don't know how I feel about you saying that, but like, I don't think I should bring a chick in here now that you've said that. So like, I guess this is how Augusta National was born. This is how golf, ladies and gentlemen.
Democracy.
I mean, she can vote, you know. We can make, you know, what we can do is make a separate group chat, and then we'll bring her in.
Yes.
And other
a 20th Amendment of sorts.
Why does she even like? How does she not? How do you divorce a sibling? Oh, you do, but it's in states where you're allowed to. What do you call it when you don't talk to a family member anymore? Why does she like me?
You disown them, I think.
Yes, I'm surprised I haven't been disowned. Yeah, it would make Christmas difficult. Sure. In other cities, I'm overthinking this. There's other things I say at the beginning of the show. Do you want to do it?
Well, yeah. So first of all, check out nonetakenpod.com. All our links are there.
What would they do once they go there? Nonetakenpod.com. That sounds like easy to remember.
Yeah, you can get to our Patreon there, where we have extra episodes, bonus shows for you guys, the hidden track, as well as full unedited video of every episode. So you can get that. If you join at the Culture Warrior level, you get a Culture War veteran shirt. Dustin will send you. You have to DM him about it, though. Yep. Also, if you just want to buy one of those shirts, you can check out our merch store, which is right there also on untakenpod.com.
Fucking spilt wine on my Yosemite shirt. God
oh, no. That's never going to come out.
Now I made it worse. Now there's lipstick on it.
Also, don't forget, support the people that support us. Slickestdigital.com for all your SEO and marketing needs. Slickestdigital.com.
How you
what
doing?
is up, everybody? Welcome to the show, dude.
What did we say?
Dude, hell yeah. Dude, I had such a great weekend, man.
Sure.
On Friday, I texted NBC. I was like, hey, man, what's up for this weekend? You doing anything? And he goes, yeah, dude, I got a cabin up in Pinecrest.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, he was like, you want to crash on the couch? And I was like, fuck yeah, I'll be there. So I drove up Saturday afternoon, got there, hung out, had a couple of beers, and he goes, you're on the grill. And I was like, I got this. So some tri-tips, some chicken, all that shit, grilled it all up.
Get the hell out of a tri-tip.
Oh, dude, it was a great time.
Yeah. Did you marinate it? Was it marinated already?
It was pre-marinated. Yeah, it was still good.
Yeah. I ask because I like your marinade. You always do wine and something.
Yeah, I do a big marinade. Anyways, I got to meet one of his high school friends, which I'd heard about for years and years. It was a guy. It's a guy. So he was up there too. That was really cool because I've heard stories about him for like a decade. Just
that's cool.
The dude. So he was there. The girls were there. We got up early Sunday morning, went and set up at the lake because you got to get your spot. You know what I mean? Like you want to get your spot. Yep. You get there at noon, you're fucked. Like it's not. I get
so anxious before we. Whenever we try to get to the lake, I'm always worried someone's going to find our spot.
Yeah, no, it's like a 20-minute drive from the cabin to the lake, so not bad at all.
Yeah,
I think we got set up like around 8 o'clock in the morning. Everything was good. Went back and got the girls. Went back to the lake.
Yeah.
We had like little floaties and stuff, so I was just floating around in the lake.
Yeah, hell yeah. Was the water
some beers? Good? It was good. It wasn't super warm yet. I was actually worried it would be hot.
Okay. Yeah, because the lakes are hot here. They're already in the mid upper 70s.
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay. No, it was way colder than that, but it was a good temperature. Pinecrest, about 6,000 feet, I want to say.
Yeah. Okay.
It was in the 70s, and then the water was, in the 50s probably.
But it was sunny. I saw the picture.
It was sunny.
Were there clouds at all?
No, it was perfect blue skies, dude.
Yeah.
And then when you're in the floaty, you're really not in the water that much, other than like paddling.
Yeah, it's just enough to cool off.
Yeah. No, it was great. It was absolutely. Oh, and then he brought his dog Zoe. Zoe is a golden retriever, and she is absolutely a water dog. I know your dogs are water dogs too, but she's like, you just throw her toy in, she paddles out there and gets it, comes back, just wants to do it all day.
Yep.
They have like a little floating dock, and she'll swim out to that and get up on there and hang out.
Well, that's so cute.
Dude, it was awesome. It was such a good time. Went back to the cabin, hung out. But we had a nice little campfire like right next to the cabin. They had a nice little.
Dude, you had a great weekend.
Dude, it was awesome. So we're out there sitting there, just chilling by the fire, having some drinks and some food. It was such a great time.
You sent me some pictures. I was like, "Are these old pictures from when you were
Yeah, I
at your
know.
dad's?"
This
Like,
was the weekend, dude.
living the dream, man.
Yeah. So Monday morning, got
You
up
gonna get a
early.
cabin up in the mountain? Start
Yeah.
mailing people bombs with.
No, I didn't do
No?
that.
Oh, okay.
Didn't do that.
That's the
But yeah, so got up early Monday morning, and then I took a couple of the girls home. Took them to Craig's place because he was like, "Dude, the truck was really packed. Do you mind?" I was like, "Absolutely not." So,
yeah.
so they popped in the car. They fell asleep within like 5 minutes and just passed out the whole the whole way home. Anyway, so I get home, and I'm like, "Dude, I just need to take a shower, like a little nap." And then Tim texted me. He's like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And I was like, "I don't know." He's like, "You want to go to Alameda?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Let's go. I'll go to
Alameda's
Alameda."
cool. The island.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't
I used to work
hang
on
out.
Alameda.
Oh, it's beautiful out there, man.
Yeah.
I don't hang out there often because
Right. You forget
it's not-
about it.
I forget about it, and usually traffic's kind of a
Yep.
bitch to get there.
Yeah.
But it
You
was a
guys got to go
holiday.
through that tunnel or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. It was a holiday, so it wasn't bad. So I went out there and met up at Almanac, the brewery, which is a massive brewery there, and they have this huge space, and there was a lot of people there. It took us a minute to find like a spot where we could actually like talk over the music and the.
Was this on Monday? Was this on Memorial Day?
This was on yesterday. Yeah, this was on Monday. Yeah. So we hung out there for a while. We did find a spot finally where we were just kind of chilling on these. Oh, dude, I gotta tell you this. So we found the spot. We're chilling on these Barca loungers.
What?
And yeah, they had like a circle of Barca loungers, so we're chilling on them. And I go in with Tim's girlfriend to get a beer, and as we're coming out, the Dinosaurs Jr. song, Feel the Pain, comes on. And I'm like, "Oh, this is Dinosaur Jr." And she's like, "Oh, hell yeah, I love this song." And I'm like, "What the like? Nobody knows Dinosaur Jr."
Yeah.
Right? Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Yeah. So we go back to the chairs, and there's a part where like it's kind of like a heavy like a guitar riff. And she's like, "You got to kick your feet." And so we're like sitting there kicking our feet during the
in
guitar.
the Barca loungers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, it was such a great time. I went to Ghost Town after that in Oakland, had a few more, and then just got home and chilled, man. It was such a fantastic, beautiful weather, like blue skies, 60s, 70s.
Except for all that rain you guys had for so long.
Oh my God. It was so gorgeous. It was so green up there too at Pinecrest.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, same here because it's been dumping out here.
Yeah.
On Monday, it was the first good day in like a week and a half. And like while we were driving, we went to a pool party. I'll tell you in a minute. But when we were driving there, it was like Natasha was like, "God, it's so green." I'm like, "It's always green, but it's really fucking
like intense green, right?" Yeah. It was the same in Washington a couple weeks ago.
And you've seen it out here. You know what it's like.
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. Yeah.
So I've got a bit to go over, and I'll try to do them boom, 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 so we don't take a lot of time on this. I know they didn't all live our life. They don't know, like it might not be as interesting to the listeners, so I'll try to keep it brief. So we recorded last week. So if you're on the Patreon, you saw all of last week's Friday show up. It was Wednesday night because I forgot and just habitually end the show and I post it. Yeah. Right. And then I woke up, I was like, I didn't have to do that. So the reason we recorded on Wednesday night was because Natasha had a burlesque show on Thursday night. Mm-hmm. This show is at a private club. So nudity is allowed. The whole stuff out here in Nashville or in Tennessee with the drag laws and stuff.
Oh, right.
Count drag laws, burlesque and drag laws. They were targeting drag, but it affected burlesque. That's why I said that. Right. They don't count because it's a private club. The reason I say that is because it's a sex club. Like it's a kink club like this. I've been there before and I've been like, I took a blurry picture of some swings. I was like, these swings. Oh, they got swings.
I remember this. Yeah.
You know, when you're on the swings as a kid and you'd get it would pinch the crook of your arm, like inside your elbow. I wonder if that ever happens while people are doing bad things on the swings. They're like, ow, 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 ow. And they're like, oh, I'm sorry. It's like, no, my elbow. Oh. So it was a great show. Natasha had a great show. She was awesome. It was one of her best, like just badass confidence. Like you look at her, you're like, that's a badass chick. I don't think there was an act I didn't. The opening act was Party Man from Batman. Remember the Joker? Remember the scene in the first Batman when they're at the art gallery and the Joker shows up and they start doing the Prince song Party Man. Party Man.
Oh, yes.
She did Party Man. It was fucking awesome. And I added it to my favorite music because I was like,
hell yeah, that's awesome
for a while. Anyway, it was a great show. There was a brief intermission. and they have 2 bathrooms, and they're toilets. There's no urinals in there.
Mm.
And there's mostly women there. I think most burlesque shows tend to be mostly women there. But the person that walked out in front of me going in was let's just say a heavyset man. And he did what you would have imagined a heavyset man doing.
no.
I feel like everywhere he goes, people are like, they probably think I shit in there. This guy fucking beefed in the sex club. Like, he beefed it bad in the sex club bathroom. And I can't have these girls in line behind me thinking it was me.
Oh, because it's unisex. Like it's all shared.
So I got a bright idea that I'm going to share with you. So if you're ever in this
do tell.
situation, you can
Okay.
use this trick. I peed and I didn't flush.
Okay. So they knew that wasn't that dude.
There was not poo-poo in there.
Right,
There
it
was
was
poo-poo with what I did. The poo-poo is from earlier.
That's
Told this to
brilliant.
Natasha, and she did not like it. She's like, now they think you're rude. I'm like, at least they don't think I poop in a sex club.
Yeah, that's a bad look.
Speaking of weird dudes, and by that I mean guys that go to sex clubs, it's never like there's, we'll put it this way, and this is not a compliment to me. I was the most handsome man there, I think. Like, this was, it's like nudist colonies. It's like, oh, it's you guys? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I should rephrase that. I mean, there are attractive people, but it's like it's that's not what it's about. It's about being accepting of all different shapes and all that stuff. And I do mean what I just said, but I also mean that it's never what you want it to be, though, right? Like, so speaking of creepy dudes, we went to our favorite place, D's, on Friday night, and there's this guy there who just always goes around creeping on girls. And like, I've got specific stories that I'm not going to get into, but like, suffice to say, like, I can back this up with receipts, and like every girl that we know in our group can talk about times where he's been a creep to them too. So we're always watching him at the bar because he shows up there every weekend. He always wears the same like knockoff nudie suit where it's got like rhinestones and aliens on it. And it's just like, dude, you're such a fucking phony, man. Like, found out he lives with his mom. Yeah,
makes perfect sense.
He's got a head that's shaped like a giant oversized lima bean, and like. And when I say that, that's context, because I never put it together with his voice and him being a creep. The guy sounds exactly like Quagmire, to the point where I was like, it was right behind Natasha. I was like, hey, that guy's behind you. I was like, by the way, do you know Quagmire from Family Guy? She's like, yeah. And as soon as she said, yeah, he started talking, and she just went like, big eyes
got big. Yeah.
Got it immediately just from the like, yeah.
Did he drop a giggity in there somewhere?
If he did, it wouldn't have been out of place. Like, you wouldn't have been like, why are you doing that? And you're like, of course you're doing that.
Of course.
I was really feeling it and dancing to the music, and I don't like to dance with like, I feel like self-conscious. And Natasha like was letting me dance, and then she was like, you're doing the Roo dance. My brother does the Roo dance. I'm like, what the fuck's the Roo dance?
The kangaroo dance.
Apparently her brother does the Roo dance, and this is an Australian thing that they pick on him for. And she's like, don't worry, once we get to the wedding, you'll see my brother do the Roo dance.
That's awesome.
We met a guy who got a dog when he bought his house. They knocked $1,000 off of it. You get a dog with every deal, dig with every deal.
Wait.
It's a separate store. I'm not firing this. They got the guy. They were selling a house, and they were like, look, we don't want to keep this dog anymore. You can have the dog. We'll knock $1,000 off the house.
Wow.
I know.
That's kind of fucked up.
It's very fucked up. Good dog, apparently.
Right.
I wrote down Love's Gonna Live Here Again. I think that was supposed to go on my list of things to play on the saxophone. That's a George Strait song. Love's gonna live here. That's not how you sing it. Anyways,
okay.
We went to a pool party on yesterday. It was great. There's this trashy hotel on the outside. No, you haven't been there. There's this hotel close to downtown.
Yes. Okay. The one you talked about before.
I don't think so. I didn't know this existed until last week. It's a different one. It's a different one. It's not the one we tried to go to and that didn't have the locals discount. Yeah. Right. But it was good. It was a great pool party. I'm not going to sell you on it because there's a bunch of stories about us being at a pool party, but it was a really relaxing Memorial Day, and it was a good payoff because it did nothing but rain in Friday through Sunday. So it was great, man. Thunderstorms. Oh my God. Sunday we were at Chopper, the tiki bar we like to go to, and we had a tornado warning. And I stepped outside to get tacos from the truck out front. And I'm like, the lady in there's like, fuck me, right? Like, I'm in a taco truck. That's worse than the trailer. Like, she had to hold on to the little pop-up tent that was in front of it for the rain. I was like, I don't think holding on to this is going to do shit.
It's probably not going to help. Yeah.
Down. You could watch the clouds go in the opposite direction of the other clouds, and you're like, that's probably not how. That's not how tornadoes start. That seems like that's how tornadoes start. It's fine. It was fine. Nothing happened. What do you say we get into our comedy clips for the week?
Let's do it.
All right, we got one that Young Thrash Lad sent in. This is guys saying, you ever have a friend or you ever have someone over that says they don't drink? And I think I have some thoughts. I mean, you know what? I'll say it in case he doesn't say it. I don't trust him. If you tell me you like, I get it if you're like, I don't like to drink, or like I don't like alcohol or something like that. But if you're like, no, I don't drink anymore, it's like, I don't think I can trust you.
There's a line from a movie. I can't remember if it was Bogart or what. It's an old movie where he says like, I don't trust a man that doesn't drink because he doesn't trust himself.
I must have seen that, and yes.
You
know what? I usually don't like it when you ruin my things that I think are my ideas, but in this case, it's...
Oh. What happened?
It just for the future, I don't need you to text me when.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
I'm aware. Yeah. All right.
You're on the wrong
fucking the switch, the power switch on.
Oh, that thing happened.
Okay. Yeah. I don't. God damn it. Oh, God damn it. I fucking hate it so much. Give me 1 second to get my shit back in order. Yep. For some reason, it closed the Google Doc for no good reason.
The Instagram's still up. It's been up the whole
It's
time.
over here now. Hold on. I see that, Alan. I'm mad at you. I'm just upset.
No worries.
God. Here. We're back again.
And we're live again.
No, I don't know what took place. Fuck. There. What? I'm trying to format the windows. Screen, yeah. Does this still work? Nope, that doesn't work. I gotta close that. I love, you know what? Editing's easy now, so it got a little harder. It's fine.
Yeah, all right.
All right. So the video stayed the whole time? Am I to believe that?
The video was up there the whole time, yeah. Yeah.
Fuck did that happen? Oh, because the laptop has a battery.
Oh, yeah. That must have been it. Yeah.
Okay. So call is being recorded. All right. Oh, they got to see me overreact. That's fun.
We're still good on the audio side?
No, I restarted it, so I'll have to splice that together. But
got it. Okay. Right.
God. All right. Let me just finish that thought. Wait, hold on. Let me do this. This will be where I bring it back in from the other show. Or from the here. Just this is for editing purposes.
This was a particularly bad case of somebody being cut in half.
Just gonna move on from it, Alan. You can subscribe to the Patreon if you want to see me freak the fuck out. I guess it's not that big of a deal.
Nah, it's all good.
All right. We're never gonna get Al Gore on here, Alan. Yeah, so I guess I don't mind that I was blatantly ripping off Humphrey Bogart. That's fine.
I mean, if you're gonna rip somebody off, that's a good guy to rip off.
Can I play the fucking clip?
Play the clip. Yes.
You ever had anybody over
and it's muted. God damn it! Why is it muted?
Your house and
shouldn't be muted.
I could hear it.
Over your house and you offer them a beer and you're like, hey, you want a beer? Like, no, I don't drink. You're like, oh yeah?
Click pause.
For some reason, I can hear it, but you can't, I guess.
No, I can hear it. You're not listening to me. I said it's got a lag to it. And
no
lag. I'm very upset. Guys in the video, bear with me for a second. I'm going to get this shit fixed. If you want to try to anticipate it, you could skip ahead like 30 seconds. That's my guess. 30 seconds.
Yeah. Seems reasonable.
Okay. You know what's reasonable is putting that plug at a reasonable location. God. You know, if it happens once, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you don't
Won't get fooled again.
Point is, you don't get fooled again.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember how to say that right because of George Bush.
Same.
All right, this is working now. So here we go.
You ever had anybody over your house and you offer them a beer and you're like, hey, you want a beer? Like, no, I don't drink. You're like, oh yeah? Want some water? Is that what you want? Some tea? For the most part, men are uncomfortable in front of another man. When they meet like somebody comes to your house and like your wife is like, oh, you know, her coworker comes over, oh, she's come over with her husband. You're like, gotta meet this motherfucker. So men, we're different than you ladies. Yeah, you women are like, oh my God, you know, I'm gonna meet her. It's gonna be fun. But men, we don't like meeting new people, man. We're like, I already got friends, you know.
It's true.
I don't have friends.
So that's what Bonzas is drinking, right? You're like, you want a beer? And they're like, yeah. And like, oh, I like this guy. You want a shot or something? And they're like, yeah, you know, I'll take whiskey. Oh yeah, this is a good dude. You ever had any?
All right. And
It was worth it.
Yeah, yeah.
Guess what? Oh!
Okay, well the soundboard works at least. So
Nice.
we got something going. One thing fucking works. Okay, just for my can you text me and harass me to fix that?
Sure. Sure.
And instead of texting me, hey, I can't see you anymore.
Right,
like,
what
you-
happened?
What happens? Like, I know what happened. I can't see. Okay.
Good clip, Thrash. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
oh
Thrash.
yeah, thanks. Alan's
Yes.
professional. Keep the show going. James sent in this clip. This is Godfrey comic. This is about sports announcers.
Sports announcers talk like this.
You know, he's doing some impressions, so might get offensive.
The whole time. And they're standing next to a Dominican dude. They do this shit on purpose so you can see the contrast of English. Well, we're here with Manny Rodriguez. What an amazing game today. 3 for 5, 2 home runs. Holy crap. He's the player of the game. Manny getting off an injury and all of a sudden making a comeback. Manny, God, what a day, huh? How'd you feel? I feel good. I hit the ball and I run it like that. Back to you, Brad. What the fuck was that?
It's borderline, man. That was borderline.
It's-
What was
that
the old? I don't know who the athlete was, but there was the guy that was a baseball been very, very good to me. You remember that? Like you've heard that growing up, right?
Yeah,
Is it like Roberto Clemente or something?
could be. I feel like maybe
Yeah,
Big
they're all the
Pop-
same. Am I right, Alan?
I feel like Big Poppy had a couple of quotes like that as
yeah,
well. From
yeah,
the Red Sox.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
for
remember
sure.
that fighter? This is not that related, but the Cuban fighter. He's still he probably doesn't still fight.
Cuban.
There was a Cuban MMA fighter, and he had just won a fight, and he was like, he was thanking everyone, and then he goes, and don't forget Jesus, but with his like fucking Cuban accent, it was, and don't forget Jesus, like the Pope or something. There's too many gay. Don't forget Jesus. People got mad because they thought he said something bad and like no and gay in the same sentence. So like it was that gay Jesus. No forget Jesus.
Hey, I know this is the comedy section. However, this is front of mind. Not to bring the segment down, but I gotta say, R.I.P. Bill Walton. Speaking of sports announcers, dude, that guy.
Did he die?
Yeah.
When did he die?
Yesterday.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's a bummer, man.
Sorry, man. I put it in my story, but no, he. I just gotta say, as an announcer, you know, opposite of what he was sort of doing an impression about of announcers, that dude was always just a really genuine, authentic dude.
Dude, he was just calling games.
Yeah, and he was one of those guys where like if the game was a blowout, you liked watching it more because he could just riff.
I'm going
and
to
just
tell
talk.
you a story.
Yeah.
The time I dropped acid
Right.
in Yosemite National Park. It was in between games, We had a
Dude.
double header coming up afterwards. We wanted to blow off some steam and be nice and loose. So we popped on some Grateful Dead and drove up through Merced and Fresno and into the Yosemite Valley. You see those granite stones up there as the acid's going along. And you could not believe the way the light glistens off of the waterfalls. That guy was amazing, man.
He was amazing. That was really well done. Just improv, by the way. That was awesome. Yeah, no, he was a good one.
Skiing downhill, you're like, oh god, okay, hold on.
He was an absolute good one.
You
RIP,
always
man.
ski downhill.
Yeah, yes.
Definitely don't ski uphill.
Well, cross country.
Very briefly and into a jump, and then that sucks, man. I didn't know that. Was he that old? I mean, I guess
71, I think.
Those, it's like dogs, right? The tall ones don't live long.
Jesus. Yeah, I guess it was the big casino, unfortunately. So,
really?
yeah.
Fuck, man. Yeah, rest in peace, Bill Walton. Well, let's listen to a fucking joke. Thanks, Alan. Fucking dead dog record here.
Most of my friends who used to be fun and maybe have a bit of a cocaine problem are now all becoming real estate agents, I'll be scrolling on Instagram, you guys, and I'll see somebody that I used to bartend with just holding both of their elbows.
I can't hear someone say you holding both of their elbows. That's the real estate pose.
That is the look. That is 100% the look.
He says you guys, it makes me think of dad boner.
Oh yeah. Hey
yes.
guys.
You guys, we're gonna play the dad boner episode the week that after I get married. So like 2 weeks from now, we'll play that
nice
Mike Burns episode. All you cool kids in the Patreon already heard it though.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? I get it, I guess. Kind of like real estate is like rehab for people who used to do drugs. Because like you don't have to have a lot of qualifications. You can just kind of like show up and just be like, this fucking house. Like you can just get like really fucking hype about the house. That's just your job, I get it, I do. But I don't get how it happened to all of my degenerate friends, I'm like, what? How do you think that went down? Like, do you guys think they just took the key out of their nose one day and they were like, you guys, I think we can use this for something else. Most of my friends.
It's a brief Taylor laugh. Just a brief one. Got the short one. Nameless sent this one in. This is, let's see who the comic is here. This is Matt Ross comic. That's weird. I have a cousin named Matt and Ross. I have two cousins named Matt. Well, anyways. Really interesting, Dustin. Am I sharing this tab? Okay. Matt Ross comic. Here.
If you're straight, I don't care, dude. If you feel bad about yourself at all, go to a fucking gay bar. They treat you like a fucking king at this place. So it's crazy. I have never been treated so nicely by a woman has never made me feel the way a strange man in a mesh tank top makes me feel. Okay? Not once. I walked into this gay bar and the guy came up to me and
Did he say in a mesh tank top?
Yes, he did.
he went, "You're gorgeous." I'm like, shut up, dude. A gay guy compliments you enough, you start being like, fucking, all right, you start turning gay. That's how they get you.
That's pretty good. All right, that's the comedy clips of the week. Let's get into our segment. Start things off with a little bit of Norm Macdonald. I think everybody had a different reaction when the crocodile hunter died, and this is a nice little time capsule to see what was Norm saying when the croc hunter died.
I wanted to talk about the crocodile hunter. Did you? Because I think you're gonna make him sad. Because Norm, I think it was tragic at the time, but I think
it's fine.
I don't know. People call him, and then they're shocked. Oh, hey, you wouldn't believe it. Who got killed? The crocodile hunter. Please don't make me laugh at this. He was 44 years old. I'm like, that's a ripe old age for a crocodile hunter. That's not. And who had to be pissed about it were the crocodiles, because he got killed by some fruity fish. And,
God damn it!
So the crocodiles were like, "Hey man, that crocodile hunter got killed. Who did it, Frank?" Nah, you don't even want to know, man.
He says Ray.
Please don't do this anymore.
Oh man.
He was Tommy with a stick. I could have eaten him and his kid. I don't feel good about this. You remember I ever tell you that story, Bill? Yeah, only 1,000 times. That's true. I wanted to talk about.
Oh fuck!
Nobody can take.
Because I just remember people trying. Because everybody tried to make a bad joke when he died, and to a person, I was like, dude, that guy has like kids, man. That guy has a family. Like, this isn't funny. I don't know what makes other deaths funny, because sometimes it is, but like, I don't know, like that. And also, like, dude, talking to Natasha about it, she's like, especially in Australia, that guy was like, I don't know what to compare it to. Like, he's like a truly like, and just such a kind soul, like just a fuck the word kind, just a beautiful soul, just a shining person, you know.
He was absolutely beloved everywhere. I'm sure Australia was a whole different level. But
oh my god, if he's from where you're from, we get him first,
dude. I watched everything he ever did. Like, it was just, like whatever he's doing. Steve Irwin's doing something. I'm watching. He was an amazing person to watch, and just a great ambassador for all these animals that kind of people tend to not care about and not like, and
or if you're like scared of it, he made it like let's move on. I'm supposed to hit this button here.
Oh, how about that?
This guy cracked the code, so when the cops come to your door, he figured out like just we've all stumbled through this guy won, and just make notes and try it out.
Police, open up.
What do you want?
We just want to talk.
You have a warrant?
No, but just come outside. We want to talk with you.
I don't want to talk. How many of you are there?
There's 2 of us, sir.
Go then, talk to each other.
Oh, how about that?
That reminds me. His voice reminds me of what's your name? Frank. What's your name?
Fuck you, buddy.
Hey, fuck you.
If you say my mother, you better not say my mother. It does remind me of that. That voiceover is so funny. Like, if someone did a new one tomorrow, I'd still laugh at it.
Yep. Never not funny.
Yeah. Dude, James sent this in. You are not going to believe this Maxwell House commercial. It's not a thing anymore. I mean, it is. It's no Folgers. Isn't that right, Grandma?
That's right.
There's no Folgers.
That's right. Credible. It ain't no Folgers.
That's not what my grandma sounded like. We'll put the ducky back on top of Grandma. Okay.
All right.
What was I talking about? Oh, Maxwell House. Maxwell House is, as far as I know, it's a Nashville company.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
You want to hear about that? Should save that now or after? I think we won't want to talk about it after you hear the clip. We'll talk about something else after you hear the clip. So before we do that, there is a hotel near downtown called Maxwell Millennial House. That's Maxwell House. They served coffee there. While Teddy Roosevelt was doing a tour of the United States, and Teddy Roosevelt proclaimed, and you might hear this. This might sound familiar here. This coffee is good to the last drop.
Oh shit!
And what's Maxwell House's commercial?
That's their line.
It's good to the last drop. Yeah. They also have a less famous line. Be a good little housewife. Oh, nope. Oh, I stepped on it. Be a good little Maxwell housewife. See, they were trying to branch out and come up with new catchphrases. 1968.
Our first house nearly never got built. My wife was so bent on helping the builder. Woman, I said, leave that poor man alone and make us some coffee. Not that kind you've been buying either. Instant Maxwell House coffee. Red jar, good to the last drop. Maxwell House. The instant that tastes like coffee. Be a good little Maxwell housewife, and we'll be happy here for a long time. Maxwell House coffee. Instant and ground.
Wow. Maxwell House coffee. The Maxwell House coffee, the official coffee of all Kansas City Chiefs kickers.
We haven't had any hot takes on that.
I know.
My hot take is it didn't bother me.
Yeah, I think he was an asshole.
I mean, he's spoken at a Catholic school.
It's true. It's a context, but also it's funny that his mom's like a
100%
physics teacher or whatever.
Yes, yeah, and put him and his brothers through college. Yeah, yep. Oh no, I mean, I definitely think that that's not the words I would choose to use, but he seemed to think that was right for that context, and I don't think a lot of people there got mad. I do also love how that Kansas City Chiefs kicker somehow gave a commencement speech somewhere, and he just imagine being like, "Who's giving our speech? The kicker from who? Super Bowl winning kicker? No, I don't care. I don't fucking care." Was it the back?
Very odd.
Back in the placeholder, like Were
I'm
they
guessing
busy?
it was his alma mater. Obviously, it had to be. Otherwise,
Oh,
there's no
that would
way.
actually make some more sense.
There's no way
Sure,
he'd go.
sure,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
sure. My favorite thing out of all of that, though, is all of a sudden Republicans are like, I'm spending $130 on a Chiefs sweater to piss off the libs, even though that's my least favorite pop star's favorite team. Like, I just spent the last 8 months talking about how much I hate Kelsey and his liberal cunt wife.
The cognitive bias is just all over the place.
I'm gonna spend $130 on that. Like, you got him, guys. Yeah. I don't know what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something else earlier. Oh, when James sent me that, I was like, "That's going in. How about that?" He's like, "I heard that," and I thought, "Oh, how about that?" When it didn't. Like, yeah. Dude,
Nice.
he vibes with the show so fucking well. I get
That's
it.
awesome.
Music. We got a music
Yes.
segment. I got 3 music clips for you. Let's start off with so the BBC does a like a concert. I mean, sure, they do more than one concert, but they do. Let me read the caption on this. I told myself, read the caption, then we'll play the clip. So last year, the BBC censored this song called Nonsense by an artist called Sabrina Carpenter. Never heard of her, but she's an American. I guess this song is popular in England. So she did a Radio 1 live lounge.
Yeah.
They censored the end of it. And what they censored went like this. I'm just going to read this because she's going to do a live version that's a little bit different in response to them asking her to not do anything spicy on stage. So in her BBC live sessions, she said at the very end, she said, and they just cut it out. She said, "I'm American. I'm not British. So BBC, it stands for something different. This live lounge is so lit because I'm in it." That's kind of that they could. That's
pretty tame.
That was
That's
pretty
fine.
tame.
Yeah.
So today she returned to the Radio 1's big weekend, and they asked her to keep it clean, and she was like, "You know what? You asked me before, and you get what you get from me."
I said I should keep it PG. BBC, I wish I had it in me. There's a double meaning if you dig deep.
That's hilarious. I feel like Radio 1 has a history of doing stuff like that. I feel like I think it was Rage Against the Machine that went on there, and they told them the same thing, and they just went out and did "fuck you." I won't do what you tell me.
Yeah. People on Radio 1 kind of push the envelope, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna ask you to guess who's singing, so don't look.
Okay.
Oh, I've been wanting to play this. So I heard this like 12 years ago, whenever it first came out, and you know the song.
Okay. I can't hear anything. Oh yeah, I know the song.
Like the legend of the phoenix.
Oh.
All ends with beginnings.
I'm gonna skip to the hook a little bit more. I'm just gonna stop it a little bit.
Up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some.
Sounds a little off, right? It sounds
a little
like
off.
Yeah, it's
Maybe
not
Emilio Estevez. I don't know.
Yeah, or Milli Vanilli, I think is what you meant.
Sure.
Yes.
Sure.
So this is the Red Army Choir.
The Red Army Choir?
Yes. This is
as in Russian?
Yes. That's so that would explain much of the accent. Now get ready.
Okay.
We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 The prison has no limit.
Who knew they even had a choir?
Yeah, didn't know they had a choir. It's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah. That's just been in my head for a long time. I was like, I'll play that on the show.
How about that indeed?
Oh, how about that? Yes. Now this is only tangentially music related because this person ostensibly is a musician. Now, she doesn't know that.
Oh,
this is the dumbest thing you're going to hear today. Yeah. Thrash sent this.
That's amazing. I didn't know that about you.
What do you know?
That you're a musician. But that's why I'm interviewing you today, so I can get to know you.
So I'm a musician.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck that mean? Make magic or something? What is musician?
I think you're confusing that.
Yeah, I'm not no musician. I make music. I make music. And that's not all I do. I make music. I act.
How can it be right there and you don't know?
I'm a TV star too, a young mogul.
I just really quick. I think you're confusing.
I'm not confusing nothing because you don't know. You thought that all I was a magician or whatever the fuck you said.
See, that's what I think you think I said. I said musician, not magician.
I don't think, baby. I don't think. What is that? That's ghetto. I don't think. I know.
So you
think.
I didn't say magician, Suki. I said musician. And I think you are a musician.
No, baby. I do music.
So you just really quick. For the record, could you say you don't think you're a musician?
I'm not none of that.
But then after that, you just said I do music.
Yeah, I do music.
So, in other words, you're a musician.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Oh, how about that?
I gotta be honest. She kind of annoys me, not because her show's not funny.
Who?
Bobby Althoff, the interviewer, right there.
I don't know who any of these people are. I was actually checking if Suki's a real person or if this is all a thing.
So that the interviewer, she just came on the scene out of nowhere. I don't know who the fuck
Industry
she is.
plant. Cat
But
Williams,
she's had Mark Cuban, she's had Drake, she's had whoever this is, and Andrew Santino was on there, and I can't tell like if
love Andrew Santino. Have you watched Dave yet? Andrew Santino's in it.
Oh shit, no, I haven't
just
watched it yet.
season 3 of Dave.
Nice. Okay, what I was gonna say, I can't tell if these interviews are like contrived or if they're
That
real.
felt fake, but I don't.
I think that was real.
I think it was too. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's
I get what you're saying. Like I mean, if you're saying what I feel off of that one interaction is present throughout all of it, and you kind of have a hunch this. I mean, when I say industry plant, is that what you're talking about? Like
yes, something like that.
She's someone's daughter. Dude, we were watching some movie the other night, and I was like, I can't tell why, but I just know that's someone's daughter, and it was Andy McDowell's daughter. It was Andy McDowell was the love interest in Groundhog Day.
Yes,
and like makeup model or whatever. She was always in makeup ads, right? Maybe it's Maybelline or something.
Yeah, she was. Nepo babies. Nepo
babies. Yeah. Do you want to hear? Here's a clip Thrash sent in about 1800s problems. Speaking of kids,
legal trouble, like what?
Well, there's the matter of children working in your factories.
What about it? We're the largest employer of children in 6 counties. We're doing our part, George.
That's the problem. People don't want children working anymore. In fact, they want them in school now.
During their most productive years, when their tiny fingers are still small enough to fit into the crevices of the machinery.
I'm on your side.
Legal trouble, like what?
Oh, how about that?
They're at their top earnings potential. Why would we not employ them? You know.
Yeah, come on. It's time to put away a nest egg before
they know how to build those iPhones.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, 1800s problems. This is real. This sounds like satire. It's real. These are two dudes finding, just this, you know what? Oh, I'll let you guys know right now. We don't have anything in the Culture War segment, and instead, Culture War segment has been interspersed throughout the other segments of the show. Nice. Might as well fall there. It's just people finding bullshit problems in anything. Here, you'll hear it.
There are some things about Smurfs that we need to look at.
Smurfs, the blue creatures.
First of all, you'll notice that they're depicted as blue with black lips.
Well, isn't that interesting?
And you know what happens to you when you die? You turn blue and your lips turn black.
In other words, these are depictive of dead creatures.
Right. And another thing is that Smurfs is an all-male community. And you say, oh, there's Smurfette. She's a female. Well, in one cartoon, she was depicted as transforming from a...
Can I just say, is the problem that they're dead or that they're all male or that there's trans? Because I think if you were smart enough, you'd say it's zombie trans or something.
Male to a female through magical power. And so the only female in the Smurfs is transformed from a male. She was not born a female.
No, what you're telling me then is that even Smurfs carry a homosexual connotation in that most of them are male.
I believe so.
But we're not going to blatantly say that Smurfs are evil. We're just saying that they have all of these overtones that are leading that direction.
Well, let's take another look at Smurfs.
Jesus.
Well, I don't know. Let's not be so quick to say that. Perhaps they are evil. It's just, man.
So I'll say this. We've talked before about sort of our religious backgrounds on the show before. And I do recall being a kid and having friends that were not allowed to watch the Smurfs because of some religious reasoning. I don't remember why, but that was a thing. It was that clip was from the 90s for sure.
I totally forgot about what you're telling me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know why. Like, why on earth, right?
Right.
Oh my God! What good thing they didn't find about the Fraggles, man.
Oh shit! Fraggle Rock.
Dude, we were so fucking poor when I was a kid. We had our TV on top of like a really, in my mind, like a TV tray, the little folding trays.
Yeah.
I'm almost certain our TV sat on a TV tray. It was something really flimsy.
Mhm.
And I would sit there. I would lay on my back and watch Fraggle Rock.
Mhm.
And I would put my foot on the thing and it would rock the whole TV back and forth.
Oh, wow.
And then one day
it fell
onto me and it
Oh,
unplugged.
shit.
And the first thing I said was, are the Fraggles still there? Like, are the Fraggles okay? And like, this is before recordings. Like, you know, you plug it back in, it could be a commercial. I'm like, the Fraggles are gone. They're like, yeah. I mean, I remember, nobody told me that. I remember that. That's one of my earliest memories. I couldn't be older than 5, maybe 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I was in Pueblo, Colorado. Damn it. Now people are going to know everything about me. Admin reveal. Let me play this clip. I think Bob Seska has been listening to the podcast. You'll understand.
And how corporations work. Right? Corporations are in this for come, but I think at the same time, we're trying to peg it the right way, Buzz.
Oh. What was that?
We're trying to peg it the right way, Buzz. And how corporations work.
I mean to play it twice. Yeah, I thought that was pretty good. He has another clip. Do you want to hear the context version or the funny version first?
Oh, let's hear the funny version first.
You know what? I agree with you.
Thy is so great and my boat is so small.
Hold on, let me try it again.
Thy is so great and my boat is so small.
Okay. Now let's hear the context.
All right, fine. Because I do want to get Seska on our show. Not after this.
Go back to that plaque that JFK used to have on his Resolute desk in the Oval Office that said, "Oh God, thy sea is so great and my boat is so small." Thy is so great. Back to that plaque that JFK used to have.
I hate that it plays on loop. How do I make it not play on loop?
Oh, no, that's very funny.
Thy is so great and my boat is so small.
That lives on the board right next to the Bridos clip.
Peg my butthole.
I didn't have to edit that one at all. All right, that's it. Let's move on into.
Isn't that something?
Oh, for a second, I thought we only had a 30-minute show so far. Joke's on me. I've got to edit later because I fucking unplugged the recording. All right, let's get into Is That Something. I've got a headline for you that I did put an article into In Other News for the Friday show. Maybe we don't have to. If you want to talk about it, we can. Maybe there's more news in the article if you read it. But here's a little clip that covers it.
Head transplant procedure involves removing a
I cut it off early. Head transplant procedure.
person's entire head containing the brain from their current diseased body.
So there's a company that says they're going to be able to do head transplants by like 2030.
I like how
attaching it to the body of a healthy.
Like how they have what?
I like how they had to specify that their head contains their brain, like we did.
That is, yeah. So just in case, just in case you're a medieval peasant.
The young brain dead donor. Head transplants could provide individuals with severe medical conditions such as terminal cancer, paralysis, spinal cord injuries, or neurodegenerative diseases the opportunity to have a fully functional body while preserving their consciousness, memories, and cognitive abilities. The neurons are the longest lasting functional cells in the human body. And according to our estimates, the brain is capable of lasting several hundred years, provided that the rest of the body remains young. The brain bridge concept involves the use of the integrated robotics platform.
Straight out of Ricky Bobby, right? With advances in modern science, I don't see how I can learn how I can't live to be 300, maybe 400 years old.
I was thinking Get Out. Like isn't that the exact premise of Get Out?
I don't remember that part.
Platform comprised of the 2 autonomous surgical robots designed to perform simultaneous surgeries on 2 bodies side by side within a single setup. The head trans.
There we go.
Alrighty then.
Yeah,
that is something.
Yeah, I got a button for that.
Isn't that something?
Tis something. Yeah, I put an article in there if you want to fill us in with the deets later on.
For sure.
Hot take: these rich fucking boomers are never going to go away. That's what's going to happen. They're going to go retire in Boca again.
Fuck. That's why we can't have Medicare and Social Security.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Did you know cursing at a cop is protected speech?
Oh. I don't think I did.
So, well, it's good to know. I have trouble pausing these videos, so I have to figure out how to do this really quick. So, I mean, I have to play. It might stutter a little bit when it starts. Here's an interesting news story. But cursing at a cop is protected speech. Often cops don't know that. Sometimes judges don't know that. And sometimes judges learn that and you still go to jail.
to 30 days in jail.
You can't be serious.
Unless you write an apology to this cop.
Wait, can we just go over what happened one more time? I was pulled over while taking my kids to school, not because of a radar gun, but because the cop estimated my speed with cruise control.
Which is not allowed in a lot of jurisdictions. Like, I think in California, they can't do that.
Estimated my speed with cruise control, which I still say is crazy, but not the main problem here.
Hey, watch it, or that'll be 2 apology letters.
Regardless, I take the ticket, but the cop just stands in front of my car after, which means I'd have to back up my car to get around him. So I say, hey, get your ass out of my way so I can take my kids to school. And now that I'm here to pay that ticket, you're saying that I have to write an apology letter to the cop or I go to jail?
Yep.
I can't believe that this is actually happening. You're compelling me to apologize to the cop? That's protected speech, and I rightly wasn't charged with any offense for saying it. Wait, swearing at the police is still protected by the First Amendment even when it hurts their feelings?
Shush. Listen, I'm the judge. What I say goes. And so that's a...
Isn't that something?
30 days in jail, man.
Dude, that is the mildest form of cursing at a cop I've ever heard.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, not in Alabama.
Sure.
Oh, that's where that happened. The true story happened in Alabama. Yeah.
I've seen videos of people like flipping off a cop and then the cop pulling them over and
Yeah.
shit. I would imagine that's also not illegal, but
Right. But what if it hurts their feelings?
sure.
Yeah, but you consider
there's always
their
that.
feelings. Yeah.
Yeah, there's always that.
All right. This is supposed to be the heavier segment of the show. So we're getting into some of that shit. This was in the news last week. I almost felt like everybody would kind of know this by the time we did the show. And then like other stuff comes up or it falls out of it. And I feel like everybody kind of forgot about it. So I'm glad I kept it in from earlier. This is the chair of the House U.S. Foreign Affairs Committee, Michael McCaul, confronting Secretary of State Antony Blinken regarding the Biden administration and Jake Sullivan allegedly restricting Ukraine's use of U.S. weapons to target strikes in Russia. So Ukraine is striking into Russia. Russia is, in future clips we're about to play, threatening the N-word in parts. It's a tactical N-word in parts. Tactical N-word. Space Jizz is a really good headline. I feel like if we call it tactical N-word or Space Jizz, we're not going to get Al Gore on the show.
Yeah, I'm still a fan of Space Jizz myself, but
3445 fan of Space Jizz. Love you, buddy. Thank you, man. Just making the show great every day.
Ukraine. We have a really bad situation going on, as you know. This is a sanctuary zone that the Russians have created. And what they're doing is they're lining up all their artillery and rockets and missiles just across the Ukraine border that they then use to attack the Ukrainians. However, your administration and Jake Sullivan have restricted the arms use.
You know what's funny is going into this video, I didn't watch this before putting it in the sheet. I would have guessed that they're grilling the Biden administration for not being. Oh, Jesus, I would not. It's so hard to keep things straight about what they want them to do to Russia, right?
Yeah.
So are you saying don't provoke Putin, or are you saying don't go doing foreign wars? I would have thought it would be, I'm tired of these foreign wars and you guys think you can strike into Russia. But no, they're saying you guys are being cowards and not
by not
letting
doing it. And Russia's doing the opposite.
I wouldn't have guessed.
The other side. I would not have guessed that either.
Right? Like,
yeah.
Okay. This is what happens
so that
when there isn't unity within your mega party, right?
Ukraine cannot defend itself and fire back at Russia. That's why I mandated the ATACMS in the supplemental, the long range, short range, and the HIMARS.
But these are the same people that didn't want to fund Ukraine.
Ukraine at all, yes. Well, I guess not this guy, but Jesus.
That your administration is tying their hands behind their back, not unlike what you're trying to do in Israel. Will you change this policy so Ukraine can fight without one hand tied behind its back?
Well, as you know, we've been begging you for money for 8 fucking months. And you're like, well, why aren't you fighting better?
We've rallied 50 countries
Why aren't you proxy warring better?
over the last 2 years to come to Ukraine's defense, to provide it with the weapons it needs to defend itself, to push back against Russian aggression. When it comes to enabling, endorsing attacks outside of Ukraine, that's not something we've done, but Ukraine will have to make and will make its own decisions, and I want to make sure it gets the equipment that it needs.
Well,
to
you know,
effectively
Congress
defend itself.
got them the equipment, and thank you for implementing that. But Congress did not put restrictions on the use of these weapons. It's Jake.
What fucking planet do these guys live in? They just completely ignore all the bullshit they did.
Yeah, for months.
Sullivan in your administration that has put the restrictions on these weapons.
Wow. Sometimes I put things in sight unseen and they get me all riled up.
That was unexpected for sure.
Yeah. What do you make of that? Like, well, first of all, what do you make of that?
Oh, do I think that Ukraine should be allowed to use U.S. supplied weapons?
Yeah, those weapons were a gift, Todd.
I think it should absolutely.
Painting was a gift, Todd.
It should
remember that from Wedding Crashers when he gives him the painting? Let's play tummy sticks.
Oh, yes.
The painting was a gift, Todd.
Yes, I do. No, I think that we shouldn't restrict Ukrainians' use of those weapons. It only makes sense if Russia's doing it. They're attacking from there.
Russia is talking about doing drills with tactical nukes, and the intention of them doing that is to be like, oh, but look at us. We might be using tactical nukes in some party. First of all, nukes in Ukraine blow fallout into Russia. Now, if they use tactical nukes, perhaps it would be insignificant and they would tolerate it. I guess I should jump ahead. This is I put Israel in the meantime.
I still think that the saber rattling that Russia does with nukes is just saber rattling. I don't buy it.
I don't either. And I mean, it sucks because it's like, all right, big man, is that how confident you feel? Like, I'm saying that to you sarcastically, but like someone would say that to me if I said that, right? Like, yeah, I don't feel good about it, but like I didn't wake up in a world where I thought somebody would be invading Ukraine for no fucking reason. I mean, not denazifying it. It was a good intention, but
I think Putin understands that what would happen if he actually did deploy tactical nukes in Ukraine.
Well, he has family members that live in other countries, right? So he's like, so like you're just going to commit to everybody dying because of this? Like, no, like you're going to have to take the weakening of your army, and that was a tactical decision that you decided was worthwhile, and your move to extend that tactical decision is to threaten nukes because you know that's going to cause everybody to stutter, and in that time period you'll make advances. Right? But every time he puts these, so there's two ways of this. Like Dave DeCamp and the anti-war crowd is like, which I consider myself one of. I didn't like start listening to his podcast because I disagreed with him, but like everybody in this anti-war crowd is like, oh well, America just keeps, the West just keeps, and NATO keeps pushing the envelope every time Putin says he's going to do this, and they just keep going further. It's like, yeah, and what doesn't happen? That's right. This man he's a bully, and he knows he's doing bully tactics. And the only thing that he respects is force. Like he's not going to back down unless you push back, and he's not going to fucking let the whole world. Dude, I don't know if I have a clip of it. Did you see the clip where the U.S. was like, we will, I think it was an article. I don't think I have a clip for it. The U.S. was like, if you detonate a tactical nuke, maybe we won't blow up everything in Russia because we don't want to see the world burn, but we will light up we have all your positions. We will light up every one of your targets.
Yeah.
Like everything.
I didn't see that, but that doesn't surprise me.
Like everything that you have in Ukraine, we can take out. Yeah. Like, you seen how not of a problem we're having with like the Houthis and shit like that? Like we can just, and that's the answer to that.
We have the boats.
And we have the
Don't touch our boats.
Don't touch our boats. Was that from Line Crosser?
Yes.
Virtual line crosser. Yeah. Japan was like, whatever you do, don't touch their boats.
Don't touch their boats.
This is a little
very sensitive about their boats.
If Japan learned one thing, it's America is sensitive about their boats. All right. Did I quote habitual line crosser and think it was real news? I think the whole thing about like taking out all their targets is what America.
Is it? I don't know that.
Yeah. Maybe I quoted line crosser. All right, so let's do a little bit more. This is the effects of Ukraine strikes into Russia and tactical nukes being discussed.
Russian media is openly discussing detonating a tactical nuclear device inside of Ukraine as a rational response to a recent Ukrainian strike.
Now, he said Russian media, right? Which is how they float these things, right? So it's like they're not saying it. Like they're doing drills and their media is talking about it, and they go hand in glove together. Like
state media that's controlled
in Russia. So that's great for everyone around the world. So as a little background here, about a week ago, Ukrainian drones struck the Armavir radar site in Russian territory. At this site were ultra-high frequency over-the-horizon radars that are a part of Russia's nuclear ballistic missile early warning system.
So just if you couldn't see the map, hundreds of miles into Russian territory, which means passing over I would assume multiple anti-missile defense systems, right? Or
Yeah, no, there's a lot of I've seen a lot of articles about this where they're like, clearly, if they were able to get that far with drones, then Russia's military defense is not at all what we thought it was.
yeah,
Like, it's
yeah,
definitely damaged.
S-400s fucking suck. And
Yeah,
all of a sudden, India's like, I'm not buying any more of that shit. We ain't buying
right.
S-400s from you guys. Like, and then on top of that, they're over the horizon, which is like what you can see, further than line of sight, I guess, right? Is that a
Well, and India had orders for S-400s from like
yeah,
years
yeah.
ago, and they've
They
never
still
been
haven't
delivered.
gotten, and now they're like, don't bother.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry.
That's important because it goes from a generic military target to a portion of Russia's nuclear deterrence network, which raised the question of, does this trigger a nuclear response per Russia's nuclear doctrine? That doctrine says the conditions specifying the possibility of nuclear weapons used by the Russian Federation include an attack by an adversary against critical governmental or military sites of the Russian Federation, disruption of which would undermine nuclear force response actions. Of course, an early warning radar designed to detect nuclear weapons inbound would meet that criteria.
He's about to find a wrinkle in this that people that get triggered about this and be like, Russia's going to nuke us if we fight like this. You're going to feel a lot better when you hear what he's about to say.
Right. So according to Rybar, not technically a government source, but a major media outlet inside of Russia, they talk about how the response here, a response against the drone launch locations or manufacturing facilities would not be proportionate because they're striking those day in and day out for weeks, months, even years on end. Instead, they said, they need to lead to escalation in the form of limited use of weapons of mass destruction, such as tactical nuclear weapons, adding that it is not necessary to deliver a strike. It is enough to conduct a practical exercise of the strategic nuclear forces with a demonstration of a tactical nuclear weapons attack on some training ground near Ukraine.
Hey, why didn't the U.S. do a demonstration of their nuclear weapons instead of dropping them on Hiroshima?
Because they weren't sure they were going to work.
Yeah.
And they wanted to make sure that
because it would look really bad if you were like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Russia's duds. Like, this happens to be a tactical nuke that somebody didn't, sell on the black market after the USSR.
Right.
I think the video started over. Let me see.
Russian media is openly.
Yeah, we already played
it. Started over. Okay.
Isn't that something?
So I guess it wasn't the clip I was thinking of, but I think they were also saying that, like, technically the U.S. wouldn't count as a target if we provided weapons according to strict reading of their doctrine.
Of their own
so
nuclear doctrine.
If Ukraine used American weapons to do it, Ukraine still did it, right?
Right. Yeah. And then they're drawing lines as to what actually is crossing the line and what's not.
But like Russia, so Britain said, Ukraine, go ahead, and Sweden was like, go ahead, you can tack into Russia with weapons we give you, we don't care. And Russia was like, okay, yeah, just UK, that means that all of your things are on the target list for us too. It's like, go a fucking head. All your fucking kids live in London. Like all the oligarch kids lived in London.
Yep. And a lot of the oligarchs themselves. So
I mean, that's a thing, right? Like, we're not from London. We don't have a lot of listeners out of England, but like, isn't that a fucking stereotype?
That's definitely
like
a
every
thing.
Russian oligarch's kids live in London.
Yes.
All right. This is a little bit off topic, but oh wait, hold on. What do I have here? Ukraine took out early warnings. Russia says it's nuking time. If Russia had taken out their early warning system during the Cold War, it would have meant that we were likely to go to strike them. That's why it's in their doctrine to respond. Oh, I'm doing a bad job. Can I quote Loadmaster poorly?
Yeah, sure.
So Loadmaster basically said, like, if America had taken out their early warning system during the Cold War, it would have triggered a response from them. Like, that's part of their doctrine. That's why their doctrine is to respond to critical infrastructure attacks with a nuclear strike. But Ukraine doesn't have nukes.
Okay.
So it's not justifiable in this. I knew I had a kernel in my brain of why it's not something to truly take seriously, and it was thanks to our good friend Loadmaster. It makes me laugh every time to say that.
So if we had taken out, if we had taken out early warning systems, that's a threat because we have nukes that we can then launch. And
we are about to nuke them, so that's why we took them out. But Ukraine doesn't have that ability.
Okay.
They're just like, hey, we're trying to fight you, and you guys keep hitting us, so like we're going to take out your eyes, basically, right?
Yes.
All right, fine. Shouldn't have started a fight with somebody. Like, that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah,
like,
it does seem pretty reasonable.
This is kind of unrelated, but so the European Parliament is going to have their elections in the second week of June, so like June 6th through 9th.
Okay.
And the European Parliament is the only democratically elected body within the EU. So the EU has all these layers of bureaucracy that honestly confuse me.
Same.
They have a rotating presidency of the European Council, which is a part of the EU.
Right.
But that part's not elected. The only thing that's elected is the European Parliament, right? So a couple weeks from now, we'll be having stories. Actually, it's while I'll be gone, so it might not be when maybe we'll cover the results of it when we come back. But the Parliament is democratically elected by the people. The presidency of the European Council rotates through member nations.
Yeah, I feel like they kind of maybe modeled that after the UN's model because the UN does a similar thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So every 6 months, it's a different EU member nation that's the presidency of the council, right?
Right.
Right now, it's Belgium. Now that lasts through June, I think, and then starting in July, guess who it's going to be?
Hungary.
It is going to be Hungary.
Are you serious?
It's going to be Hungary. The rest of this year is going to be so fucking spicy. Hungary is going to be leading the EU during the election season. Wow,
right. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah.
I did not know that. That was genuinely a guess.
Isn't that
something?
That is
This
something.
is the segment of Isn't That Something, where I don't really have any sounds for things. So I don't have any sounds for some of the Israel shit I want to talk about.
Yeah.
And I think it's all for the better for this. There isn't a sound that's going to justify the video, which I never saw. I think you saw the video too, right? Person's holding something and it's missing a part of its body that's disturbing. So Israel on Saturday dropped a bunch of leaflets saying, hey, go to this area here. There'll be humanitarian aid and you'll find shelter there. And then on Sunday, they're like, but right next to that, there's 2 Hamas leaders. So let's fucking bomb the shit out of it. Oh my God, it started a fire. And everybody in this humanitarian camp that we set up, refugee camp, whatever, that we instructed people to go to, died. So
to
like
evacuate to, yes.
I mean, early headlines said 45 people died. They're digging people out of there. Who knows? Like
the final number is going to be much larger than that, obviously. Yeah.
Can you talk about that? I don't have any sounds. Did I cover
it? Well, I mean, so essentially, I mean,
things have been simmering in Rafah. We sort of were tolerating
Rafah for quite a while, and they've been threatening to go in and not go in. And throughout the course of this war, Israel has generally said, "Okay, you guys need to evacuate this area because we're going in. We're going to bomb the shit out of it. So go here." And so people would move. And they would do that. They would bomb that area. In this instance, Israel said, go here. This is going to be the safe zone. And then it wasn't safe at all because they bombed right next door.
Bombed right next to it. It's not the same thing.
Yeah. It's pretty shitty. I mean, the whole.
And BB's like, this is a huge mistake. I can't believe these guys would do that. Good job. Here's a
Yeah, it's the same. I can't believe we accidentally shot 2 of our own hostages. That's while they're holding up white flags and not wearing shirts, so we knew they didn't have bombs.
Yeah. That's what Alan's telling you is something Israel did to their own people.
Yes.
Yeah. Not to mention the tanks and the other stories with that.
Yes.
All right. Not a lot of updates there other than Israel's kind of been easing it in with Rafah. And
phrasing.
Now they're don't need to finish that metaphor. I've got that was this story I put into the pre-show.
Oh yeah,
you joined the pre-show. We had a long debate about whether or not special forces are being targeted and whether or not it's related to power stations being shot at. Longtime listeners know the bullshit there.
I will know that story. Yes, absolutely.
My God, dude, I was so upset.
Unbelievable.
Kind of spoiled it. So here is the lawyer that led the argument for overturning Roe versus Wade.
The Dobbs decision. Okay.
Yeah. Here's him basically saying, I believe life begins at arousal. No, I shouldn't say that. Life begins at conception, and we've got a plan for all 50 states. Because the point is, hey, let each state decide, right? But also, if we let each state decide, that means we can tell them what not to do, right?
Goal is for right to life to be protected from conception until natural death in all 50 states, and we have a plan on how that's going to work. And it will take time after Roe versus Wade to do that. We'll start off with about 11 to 12 states that will be pro-life immediately, and then with a little bit of work, we can get another 10 or 12 states to join that. And
but by all means, we sound like we've got Trump derangement syndrome or whatever. Just call them out on this initially, right?
With a little more work, we think we can get up to around 30 states that are pro-life by the normal processes. And then we think we'll have the political a power at that stage to move to a federal constitutional amendment and move to all 50 states being protected.
Incrementalism is a thing. Slippery slopes are a thing. Slippery slopes is not a fallacy. You listen to these people when they fucking tell you, and you don't ignore them. And you certainly don't elect the puppets that don't have anything of interest in mind than their own political careers and power that are going to enable these people, because these people will get them elected.
I mean, this is like the Handmaid's Tale in real life.
God, you know, that gets said so fucking often.
I know, but I mean, Trump was even asked, and I don't know why I didn't sing this clip. Maybe we had it. I don't remember. But Trump was asked if he would consider doing something to limit availability of contraception, birth control.
Oh, I think I do have that. But tell it anyways, in case.
And he said, essentially what he said is, we're looking into it. We're working on that. And it's like, what the fuck kind of dystopia? I mean, it's amazing.
Birth control.
Birth control.
What is this, the 70s? Like, hey man, like I know we got a lot of Catholic listeners, but like this is like the Catholic Church propaganda from the 90s, like all like put into doctrine at the state level.
Which, if that's your religious belief and that's what the way you want to practice, is completely fine
yes,
with me.
I mean, yeah.
But we don't legislate based on religious beliefs, or we shouldn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Otherwise, weed would be legal. We'll start a church where, you know, the Rastafaris had a point.
Yes.
By the way, laying off of it for anxiety reasons.
Really?
Not doing well with anxiety over the weekend.
Oof. Okay.
Yeah. Remember when I told you I had that like little like blister on like my under my tongue on my gum?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but then it flattened and went away, and like silly me for being worried. Yeah, it came back. So then I went to the dentist today. And he's like, I don't know what that is. I'll refer you to an oral surgeon. And I was like, oh, God damn it. So then I call the oral surgeon, and they're like, yeah, we'll schedule a biopsy consultation. I'm like, can you not say that word? Like, that's, yeah. So it also, like, I don't feel like tumors flatten out and come back. You know, it's probably some gross infection I shouldn't be sharing. You know, probably got like a rotten tooth that's upsetting.
I don't know any of that, but that
wouldn't that drive
would
you
certainly be anxiety inducing.
Yeah,
yes, 100%. Yes,
yeah.
Yes.
So it's just booze for me now. But then there's its own problems. Like, you know, that was another thing that I had over the weekend, where like I drank a bunch of sugary drinks on Saturday, and then Sunday I woke with anxiety from like, you know, overload alcohol and sugar and stuff like that. That's a thing too, right?
Yep. That's why
I just need to give my brain a break.
Give it a break. Yeah. I avoid sugary drinks for that very reason.
Really? Anxiety?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I try to do like I do like soda water, like flavored soda waters with like a splash of lemonade. Just, you know, get a little bit of sweetness, but not too much. Because every time I do like, you know, Jack and Cokes or whatever, yeah, it bothers me.
Does it give you like, does it make you feel like your heart's acting weird, and then it makes you anxious? Oh, it's literally the same thing?
Yeah. Your heart beats fast. Yeah.
You know, you're making me feel very normal then.
Yeah, it's totally a thing. Even like I used to.
This is part of the experience of being a human, isn't it?
Yeah. I used to really like vodka tonics, but I found the quinine in tonic water also does that to me. It makes my heart beat.
Quinine? Hold on. Quinine reminds me of the pandemic. Was this a thing?
Quinine is a malaria thing, but quinine's bark from a tree. That's where it comes from anyways. But yeah, if I drink too many of those, I still like them. I'll have like one or two here and there. But if I have too many, my heart will start racing, and it's just like a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you're aware of it, and you can't stop thinking about it, and then every other thing. Dude, it's really good to hear somebody else talk about that.
Dude, yeah, it's a thing.
I'm okay.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah. I mean, worst case scenario, I'm seeing someone that will put me through a treatment to make it better.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I'm in no pain otherwise. It's literally a nuisance. Like, I feel like if it's the bad one, you have like trouble swallowing.
Yeah, and it sounds like you got out early in front of it. So
yeah. Okay. All right. Well, listeners don't have to listen to my anxiety issues. So I don't need to offload that onto them. Let's get into a little bit of election segment. This will kind of take us into half. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more clips for a half. TikTok as a battleground. We kind of know this, but I thought this was informative in a way that doesn't always get said this way.
Forget about Truth Social. TikTok could become the real hub of MAGA content. I reported in my newsletter, The Best and the Brightest, that there's 2 times more pro-Trump content than pro-Biden content. Now, even...
Why do you think that is? I mean, that's literally the whole, like, China is asshole. They'll put the on the scale, right?
It literally is.
Yeah.
And why Trump flip-flopped on shutting down TikTok.
Yep.
Donald Trump is considering...
Like, it doesn't have to reflect the amount of content being created. It reflects how the algo
what's promoted.
Yeah.
Joining the app. Both parties see it as essential to win in 2024, and for good reason. Take a look at these numbers of TikTok users in each of the battleground states: Pennsylvania, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, and Michigan. So if just 1% of these users are fed more pro-Trump content or anti-Biden content, it could have a real impact on the election that will likely be decided by a very small margin in these states. There's a link in my bio to the full article where I delve into.
I think we're good.
Yeah.
I would not have thought of, I mean, I'm not on TikTok, so I wouldn't have thought of it as like a MAGA cesspool, but yes, it's not surprising given the concerns of how they would tweak to get their preferred candidate elected, right?
Mm-hmm. And we're talking about in some of these battleground states, margins of, 12,000 voters, 15,000 voters. So 1% of the electorate being impacted by that could be significant.
And just as a refresher, in case anyone forgets, like, it's not that their policies will, because Trump's like, oh, I'll fight China and all that stuff. But it's like, yeah, you're the chaos candidate. And if you want a multipolar world, you want to weaken America's influence. And Trump being in power weakens our influence. Because
all they want to do is divide, not have a united country, essentially.
Exactly. Balkanize.
Yes.
This is, what's this clip? It says, if Trump wins, FBI.
Oh, Comey.
Okay. Oh, this is Comey. I thought this was pretty good.
Yeah, I've seen
But
this.
remember the source. It is Comey.
Sure.
Second Trump administration. What do you think the implications would be for the FBI?
Oh, serious for the Justice Department and the FBI, because Trump is coming for those institutions. He knows their power, and I think he has regrets that he didn't work hard enough to corrupt them last time. So he's coming for them, and that's it's a danger for all Americans. He's going to put people in positions in those organizations. He didn't have all-stars the last time. He'll have the bottom of the barrel this time, but people who will want to do his will, and that should worry every American. This election matters. Because of a reason like that, people have to participate. You cannot sit on the sideline. I don't care how you feel about Joe Biden, you must vote for him because the consequences on the other side are too severe.
I feel like
that's something.
People that are on the fence of that don't respond well to you saying you must do something.
I would agree. I would agree with that. Also, I mean, Comey, some might say, is partially the reason we got Trump in 2016 based on how he handled the Hillary stuff.
She was weird.
I mean, that election.
The suspicion about what she was doing was interesting.
Right. But for him to come out like 2 weeks before the election the way he did, it was like, what the fuck? So I mean, I believe everything he said there. I agree, but it's quite the interesting spokespiece.
This video probably could have been better for the pre-show. I'll describe it. So this is just audio. So Trump showed up to a NASCAR event over the weekend, and he's just in like the parking lot area, and the stadium's behind him, and he's just standing there taking shots, taking back shots, shots from behind, waving at the crowd like they're cheering for him.
As if,
we got more about his little skiing dance later on. It's phony. This is just bullshit so that his camera crew can use it for B-roll.
Oh yeah, they'll edit the shit out of that.
Yeah. Then did you see any of the other clips from that event? Because there isn't good audio for any of the other clips. He went around saluting everyone. Like there's just all these videos of him saluting people. He like randomly was saluting people during Amazing Grace. Like you know how you salute during Amazing Grace?
Sure.
He was just saluting random people. He was saluting the flyover when the C-130 flew over. It's just like,
wow.
All right, whatever, man.
That's pretty cringe, man. Pretty cringe.
It is very cringe. Yes. Here's Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. I wonder if you think this man is a future presidential candidate.
I find it ironic he was at the Libertarian convention, and
that's coming up in the second half. A lot of this. That's the bulk of the second half is going to be Trump at the Liberty and his rally in like the Bronx or something.
And no one has been more restrictive, whether it's women's reproductive rights or the rights to vote. This certainly hasn't been a libertarian lean in terms of liberties. So I think we're always concerned, third-party votes. Look, Minnesota is a very independent state, but I think the difference is that President Biden's making a case that their lives are improved, that the status of the United States and the global community is at stake, and that's the choice they should make. So we'll just make the work, get the work done. But it was somewhat entertaining to watch that last night, I will say.
That's something.
That is something. So as far as future presidential potential candidate, I don't know that he has the name recognition just yet.
Yeah, sure.
I barely know
But I
who he
mean,
is.
listen to how he described. He's like, I'm a
Yeah.
president. I'm the governor of a state with a lot of independence.
Independence.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
actually,
I could see him finding a way to sort of ride that centrist
he's been
train.
making some spicy content. I think we had a clip of him last week that we didn't really
Okay.
delve into too much. The fact that he's coming up on the show a couple weeks in a row, kind of organic. I mean, I'm not forcing that in here.
Sure. It just happens.
He has a little bit more. I didn't realize this.
We got 18 field offices up and running. We've got a ground game that is going to be bigger than anything we've ever run out here. The Republican Party, in contrast, last time they filed had $52 out here, and there's no offices for Trump. And I think the issue is being organized. And the message you take to this is, again, this is about protection of democracy. This is about when Donald Trump was president, governors like myself were in Hunger Game battles with other governors to get ventilators to keep our people alive because he did nothing. The issue is going to be competency. When Joe Biden comes to Minnesota, he brings jobs, money, investments, and a positive message. When Donald Trump comes, it's grievances and revenge. So
Dude, you know what's crazy is like, that was the big thing that got W reelected, was that Kerry was talking about how bad things are, and Bush was like, hey man, vote for me, things will be okay.
Right. That's
What
true.
happened to that? That was like political, like that was a truism about politics that you could bank on for decades.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that. A lot of things happened in politics in the last decade that are pretty bizarre. Him throwing shade at the RNC for having $52 is hilarious.
That's true. Remember,
and we've talked about it before on the show.
They got like $500 in Arizona. Like,
so funny.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's more than that now.
I don't know. I mean, they're using the coffers of the RNC to pay his legal
for the
fees,
legal
man.
fees, yeah,
Like they might not. Like, I apologize in advance for this. I think this will be the last clip we play before we go to half. I will ask us a question. Let me just play this. They are. I think I sent it to you. They're the Biden campaign is trying to hire a meme lord.
Yes, you did send it to me. For like
Now,
$80,000 a year or something like that?
Yeah. As far as I know, that person hasn't been hired yet. This is not, I think the Colbert Show made this.
Okay.
But it came out like right after that news came out. Okay, here we go. You're familiar with Skibbity Toilet, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Skibbity Biden.
Skibbity Biden. Skibbity Biden.
I'm gonna find the explosion.
Biden. Skibbity Biden.
I'm looking for the
Hitler's
explosion.
language. Trump is using Hitler's language. Hitler's language. Trump is using Hitler's language.
It's like beyond cringe, dude.
It's beyond cringe, but it's also funny.
It's cringier than Bidenomics. Like that makes Bidenomics like, no, say that more. Like do that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
But, by the way, so like record Dow numbers, I think that's about a week old or so, right? But it's over what, 40K or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we talked about it on the headline
show.
Maybe
on the headline show. Yeah. I kind of black out on the headline show. So I know that the stock market is not the economy,
right?
But good economic numbers are, well, actually, so good economic numbers. Okay. So like stock market's not the economy and real people are like, the economy sucks. We've talked about this before, right? Would it be fair to say that the stock market reflects the good numbers of the economy on the corporation side of the economy?
Yeah, that's all it does. Yeah.
So the good economy is on the corporate side and the bad numbers are on the consumer side.
I think that's a pretty.
I don't
know. You know what's funny about that is that Trump has always used the Dow or the NASDAQ as like, hey, I'm the best president ever. Look what the Dow's doing, right? But now that it's doing well here and he's not in charge,
he's like, but inflation and all this. Right. Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what else can better reflect the fact that like price inflation right now is actually on the corporations. If the Dow is through the fucking roof and all these businesses are printing money and we're complaining about how expensive things are, why are we getting mad at Joe Biden?
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The dichotomy there is pretty obvious. And I mean, you can look, if you look at the numbers, you can see that corporations have used the recent, the pandemic, et cetera, to bump up prices when it's not like their costs were going up. They were just doing to improve profits.
Yeah.
In many instances, I can say.
Kind of a flip side of what I just said there, or what you just said there, is how, if we're not going to blame Biden for that, I think another way of saying that is can you tell me how Trump's going to make prices go back down? Right? Like, of course you can't, right? Like,
no,
so
I mean, I guess
it's like, why are you getting mad at, Sleepy Joe?
I guess that if you were a big Trump fan, that you might say, well, he'll just call his buddies and be like, hey, you got to lower prices, bro.
Don't you think that some of those people are doing that right now, knowing that it'll keep pissing off people and make them vote for their preferred candidate?
I wouldn't put it past them. Yes.
I wouldn't put it past them either. Maximizing prices is human nature, though, right? Like, let me say that better. Like, humans are problem-solving machines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a market, it's a game. Maybe not to everybody, right? But to the people that play at being the best at running a business at that macro level, they are going to find the way to maximize those profits in a heartless way. That's how that person rises to that level, right?
Sure.
And like that's something in human nature, right? And then like you make the same arguments about capitalism and socialism, where people are like, oh, that's not real socialism, or that's not a true market, right? And it's like, what we're really saying is that when you put the power in the state to determine what the right choices are, they're going to make all the decisions that help them and their family and their friends. And then same thing on the capitalist side of that, right? Like,
if you put the power in the corporate side, they're going to extract the most amount of value they can.
They're going to pull out personal gain. It's a trait of the species almost, right? Like,
yeah.
And like, so we can argue about whether it's capitalism or socialism that we want to live over, but we should just strive to do better at whichever it is that we're doing. And it's like, we probably don't need to throw out capitalism when we could be like, these cunts over here.
Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely.
By the way, record travel this last weekend.
Yeah, I know.
This is a horrible economy and gas prices, and
everybody was on the road. When I went
parking lots are full. Costco parking lots are full. But nobody's got money and everything's expensive. Let's complain about it. Ask you a question. We'll go get a beer.
Sure.
Whatever happened to white dog shit?
Oh,
when was the last time you saw white dog shit?
It's been a very long time. Is that just evidence that people just pick up after their dogs better than they used to?
Maybe.
Because it turns white after it sits out in the sun.
It's either that or it had something to do with dog food diets. Maybe dog food diets.
Oh, it could be that.
We should do a deep dive into this.
White dog shit.
The white dog shit conspiracy. Yeah.
It was in side podcast.
That wasn't even that long ago. Remember in Step Brothers? They're like, lick that white dog shit. That was a gross scene, man. Those kids were bullies.
That is pretty gross.
In a couple of minutes. I got to press the button, right?
Yes. Sweet. All right. See you on the B side.
This is the B side of our platter, sports fans. And I'm singing just for you, covered in sequins.
In the canyons of your mind, I will wander through your brain to the ventricles of your heart, my dear. I'm in love with you again. Cross the mountains of your chest, I will stick a Union Jack to the forest of your cheek, through the holes in your string bag.
Wardrobe change.
Oh, I see. What is this?
It's like an air conditioning supply house shirt that I got like 5 years ago, but I realized that Natasha noticed the wine stain. She's like, "Let me fix that for you." And then
Nice.
she's like, "Put a new shirt on before you walk in. The camera's on." I'm like, "Oh yeah, good call." This is what I could find in the dirty clothes. Well, it's not the dirty clothes. It's in the. You ever do laundry and then you take them out of the dryer and you just put it back into the hamster?
Yeah. Or I tend to like leave it on a chair.
Yeah, like a wad of it, like on the seat of it, or you drape them over it.
It's kind of like
one or the other.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to trial updates from you. I didn't pay any attention to stuff from today, but before, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You know that people say like something makes for strange bedfellows?
Oh, yes.
It's kind of gay, right?
It does. It does seem a little, now that you mention it.
The gay, no doubt.
The gay, no doubt.
Lighthearted, fancy free.
Exactly.
He laughs too long in that. It's on purpose, right? Listen, it goes, if he just went ha 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 ha, it was fine, but he does ha 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 ha.
There's an extra couple of beats. Yes.
Oh, why isn't it playing?
Exactly, sir.
Smithers. What are you doing, Smithers?
Something gay, no doubt.
That is always funny. Simpsons were so good, man.
Absolutely.
It's wholesome too. Like there's something wholesome in that. I know that's not the right word for that, but it is.
It is. It's been amazing television for decades. Yes.
Yeah. It's like PG Simpsons or PG South Park.
Right.
Remember when parents wouldn't let kids watch The Simpsons, and then South Park came on? They're like, okay, you can watch Simpsons, but not
South Park. Yeah. Yes.
All right.
Trial
updates. Yeah. What do you got?
All right. So we had closing arguments today. The defense
did they finish both?
Well, so as we got on mic today, the prosecutor was still finishing their closing arguments, but I just pulled it up and they did finish. I guess the judge had set a hard deadline for 8 p.m. So they went till 8 o'clock.
My understanding was that they were like the defense, because it went defense and then prosecution, because that's how it works, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Trump complained about that. He said it's not fair. It's like, okay, well,
that's just how it works.
You should know this from being in court all the time. Someone that sues someone so fucking often, I guess he just hasn't seen a criminal trial until today. So the defense said they had like 3.5 or 4 hours for their closing argument, and then the prosecutor said theirs was going to be a certain length. And the judge said, jury, if you can handle it, we'll try to get everything in. But if you want to take a break, we can finish it tomorrow morning, which would have been really funny if they got like the actual last word, like the next day. Like,
yeah.
All right. That's all I got. Please tell me.
So I believe the defense did about 2.5 hours of closing arguments. There were a little bit of fireworks. There was one point. Yeah, there was one point where the attorney for Trump said,
which one was it? Was it the whiny bitch or whatever Cohen called him?
Whiny bitch, yeah. Todd Blanche.
Todd Blanche.
He said
he really is a whiny bitch.
He really is. I mean, we don't have audio, but just the transcripts. It's like
everybody who's been there is like, Cohen is not a sympathetic character, but his description of Todd Blanche is remarkable.
Yes. All right. So at one point, Blanche said, "You can't send Donald Trump to prison based on Michael Cohen's testimony." And essentially the whole...
No, you're right. That's why we brought in all these facts to back up what he said.
That was their whole defense, was to attack Cohen. However, so technically the jury isn't allowed to consider the consequences of their conviction. So they're supposed to... they're supposed to determine whether or not they believe Trump is guilty of what he's accused of.
Okay.
Regardless of what the outcome of that decision will be. They're not supposed to consider that decision whatsoever, legally. So they're just supposed to consider the facts of the case. Look, this is what the prosecution is alleging that he did, and then the prosecution lays out their narrative. The defense tries to punch holes in it, and then at the end of the day, the jury has to deliberate and decide: we believe he did this, he broke the law, or he didn't. They are not supposed to factor into that at all what the outcomes of that decision would be. And so by that lawyer bringing that up really pissed off Mershon. I guess he dressed him down pretty well.
Did he make the juries leave?
I think he did make the juries leave again. Yeah. So that was.
Hey, aren't there lawyers on the jury?
There are two lawyers.
2 lawyers.
There's 2 lawyers on the jury.
That's
Yeah.
not 12, but that's wow. Do you
Yeah.
think they know how all these procedures work that
Oh,
Trump's
I
legal team seems to not understand?
would imagine so.
Okay.
So that pissed Mershon off. So there were some fireworks there. Then they break for lunch or whatever. They came back, and then the prosecutors got up. I would say,
Wait, so was that like the thrust of his 3 hours was like their whole argument is Cohen?
pretty
You
much.
don't, dude. The whole point the prosecution made was, we know you're not going to like Cohen. Here is all of the evidence to prove that
Here's all the
don't have to trust
breadcrumbs.
him. You can just
Yes.
you can remember what these people told you, and I'll tell you at the end, which is what they did today.
Right. Now, the prosecutor, based on what I've read and heard people talking about, he kind of he went through the narrative like step by step and kind of involved a lot of minutia that seemed somewhat unnecessary, and maybe he was losing the jury at one point. They took a number of breaks because jurors were visibly like just like kind of staring at the ceiling, seemed to be a little bit lost in the whole details of all of it. So that wasn't great. There was also there was an objection. I can't remember the details about it right now, but there was an objection.
Did they move to strike?
So the defense objected to something that the prosecution said, and the judge sustained it. And according to legal experts, in a closing argument, that's not a good look, and you definitely don't want that to happen. It's just not a good look.
Yeah.
So they were still going as we got on the air. So I don't know what else happened. Lawfare was going to have a podcast at 5, but we got on before that. So I don't know all the details because they were still going when we left. But so as far as I know, they're supposed to come back tomorrow morning. He's going to give them their juror instructions, which had been hashed out between the defense and the prosecution last week before they left for Memorial
So there's
Day
no
weekend.
more discussion of that. It's just
That should all
actually
be done. Yes. So he will read them, their instructions, which is supposed to take maybe an hour and a half, I guess, which seems long to me, but that's what people were anticipating. And then they will go and deliberate.
Details, it's like a fucking conference call. It's always like one more thing.
So then the jury would deliberate, and who knows? I would guess, like I said on last show, that we would have a verdict by the end of this week. But sometimes jurors come back in a few hours, and sometimes they take a week. It's just, it could go either way. Especially if you have a majority on the jury who believe one way, want to vote one way, and then maybe a minority, 1 or 2 jurors who feel strongly the other direction, and then people try to come to a compromise so they can have some sort of unanimous decision. So who knows how that process will play out, but we should know pretty soon.
Maybe by the time we do our next show.
Maybe by the time we do our next show.
Maybe
entirely possible.
Listening to this.
Yeah, it's entirely possible. Absolutely.
Interesting. We do have a little bit of actual breaking news that came out today.
Okay.
So Judge Cannon made a fucking decision. Can you believe it? Did you see this?
No, I didn't see that.
Oh my God, Judge Cannon made a decision. So this is going to be really fun. So we take sledgehammers to echo chambers, right?
Right.
So I'm going to play you Steve Bannon's War Room podcast.
Oh.
And this is the way Steve Bannon breaks this news. I trust you on this. I think this, you're going to do this live, Alan.
Okay.
But I want to hear your interpretation of what the reality-based community would actually say this headline is. Okay. It's not good, but it's not the way he's saying it. So here's a decision. Judge Cannon made a decision. I mean, of course
that's breaking news by itself.
Of course it sided with Trump, right?
Of course it did.
Okay, so there's the way he says it. I want to hear what you okay, I've set you up enough.
Show. Judge Cannon just but Julie Kelly's.
He's got a sign in the back. I never watched his show. Maybe it's there in every episode. It says there are no conspiracies, but there are no coincidences. Steve Bannon. Sounds like something I already have heard him say it, but it does make me realize that everyone I ever hear say I don't believe in conspiracies is always like a MAGA guy, and I'm just realizing now that they don't have their own original thoughts. They heard Steve Bannon say something once, and they say it. Also, coincidences happen a lot. You have to parse them out and find out whether somebody is like manipulating those moments, but skilled actors leverage coincidences. That's why you prepare yourself and be ready for those opportunities. Like to say that there's no such thing as coincidence, somebody is manipulating you so that they can feed you their interpretation of that every time. Like don't let people hijack you like that. God.
Correlation is not causation.
Yeah, but right? Julie Kelly's going to join us, come back by phone. Judge Cannon just came out, denied Jack Smith's gag order that was predicated upon Julie Kelly in here in the war room, Mike Davis and I talking about it, and they had a clip as one of their exhibits, denied it, also beat up Smith and warned him she'll bring sanctions if he breaks the rules again. We're going to get Julie up here in a minute. Nor a show.
So Jack Smith had requested, you got this?
Yes.
Gotcha.
So Jack Smith had requested a gag order because of things that Trump
didn't. By definition, he didn't request a gag order. He had requested the conditions for the defendant's release. Excuse me. He'd asked the judge to reconsider the conditions of release for the defendant, being Trump, which AKA just means if he does something wrong, he would get jail time, which is similar to a gag order, but not the same thing.
Sure.
And just
Technically.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I think the really interesting thing there is not just that she denied that, but also that she said she'd bring sanctions against Jack Smith if he broke the rules. What did she specify? What rules she thought he was breaking? Because
no idea. But what was the gag order? I mean, I cut you off before you got to that. What was the gag order? What was it that he thought that? So Jack Smith, the prosecutor in the documents case against Trump.
Yes. The classified documents case.
Wanted, we can call it a gag order because it's easier to say, trumpgags.com. He wanted a gag order on Trump because of statements he'd been making. What were those statements?
They were statements about the
conditions of the raid.
Saying that the FBI
so the raid
had
on his house, they had guns on them.
Right.
And
He was
like,
saying
the
that they had,
stipulations of the raid order was like, look, don't go in there unarmed, but like,
but
you don't
that's
have
the
to
way
wear
the
flak
FBI
jackets,
always
you're not
does
gonna
it.
beat down the door with sorry, they're law enforcement. Like your security guards have guns. This is America. Last time I checked, you guys aren't pussies. Why are the Republicans the ones saying when the cops came they had guns? I thought this was the EU. Like what?
But what he alleged specifically was that the Justice Department had authorized lethal force, and Merrick Garland came out and said that's absolutely not what we did. They didn't show up in like fucking full on gear. They showed up in polo shirts, and they had guns because that's how they roll. That's what they do.
Yeah, they didn't put a tape over the Ring doorbell and turn off their body cams like the director of the Denver airport.
They didn't show up in bulletproof vests and camo gear and riot gear. They didn't show up in any of that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And so that was what Jack had issue with. And even Garland was like, look, this is a dangerous thing for him to accuse. That's not at all what's going on here. And the judge denied that.
I can't believe she denied that, honestly. Like,
I can
because it's her. I can that it's her. Yeah.
But she is like, so between what we have happening at the Supreme Court with Alito and Thomas, and then what we have with Cannon in Florida,
it's a joke.
It's like, why would anybody have any faith in the justice system whatsoever?
But the thing is, we're stuck with it. It doesn't matter if you have faith in it or not.
I know,
we're stuck with it.
Until we're not.
I actually think that Jack Smith did this on purpose. I think he set that up because he knew that she would make a decision that sided with Trump, and he made her put something down on paper that he can take to the appeals court. No rational appeals court will look at this and say, yeah, there's no instance where we could ever think that Trump's words ever led to violence like that.
So there is a bit of a game of chicken going on here. So the way the rules work, if once there's a sitting jury in this case, so once they've decided on a jury, if Cannon makes a ruling which essentially tells the jury this case is bullshit and you should throw it out, and that happens, that's not appealable. So Smith is sort of walking this tightrope of, if he's going to go to the appeals court and say this judge should be removed from this case and we should get a different judge based on what she's done.
What's that process called?
Mandamus. So that's obviously, that's kind of a risk. And then if it's if the appellate court doesn't allow it to happen, then obviously he's going to have an even more hostile judge. Yeah. And he has to have.
She's already proven herself. She's always going to be that way anyways. Who cares?
Right.
Push it.
So there is sort of a time limit on when Smith has the ability to actually bring a mandamus claim forward, and perhaps he is trying to push the judge to make some things.
She's on record saying something R-worded right there. I almost said it. I'm trying to do better.
Yeah.
Say that
so perhaps he is looking to have her say more or put more controversial things down on paper, actually make rulings on, so that way he can go to the court and say, look, I have A, B, C, D, E here.
Yeah.
This judge should be removed.
What are you saying, that he wouldn't be able to appeal it at some point?
Once there is a sitting jury,
but once it goes through the trial, it can be appealed. Now, can you appeal an acquittal?
No. So once there's a sitting jury, if canon then instructs the jury in such a manner,
you can't appeal to mandamus.
No, it's over. You can't appeal it at all.
I see.
Yeah,
but he can appeal a conviction.
Yes.
Yeah, which is fair.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Thanks for that. I got confused. I got local coverage. So I love this now. Local news is like, yeah, you can tune in to CNN and Fox if you want all that bullshit. We're still getting away with some shit, which you don't see from local news very often. Here's local news covering Trump's tiny rally in the Bronx. There was 2,500 people there. Look at that picture.
Dude.
There's 2,500 people there. He tried to say there was 25,000. Just
yeah, that's
like,
not 25,000.
It's real low on his list of lies, but like.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you very much. This is some turnout.
Presidential candidate Donald Trump came to the South Bronx today to speak to some supporters and to a fair amount of empty space in Crotona.
It sounds so like whimsical. Presidential candidate Donald Trump.
Crotona Park.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you.
It started over again. I just love that. Local news. Presidential candidate Donald Trump spoke to a small crowd of people.
It's funny that you mentioned that this is pretty low level on his spectrum of lies. The attorney for Trump called Michael Cohen the gloat today, the greatest liar of all time.
Who said that?
The attorney for Trump.
The defense attorney?
Yes.
Great. I like that. No, it isn't. No, he's not.
No, he's not. He's not at all.
Trump should be proud of that. Like, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah, Trump's the gloat, if anybody.
That's how propaganda works, right? Just repeat the lie, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Here's Trump supporters leaving his event in New York.
Is he still talking while they're
Yes,
leaving?
that's what I'm saying. You can hear in the background. He's like, you can fight, whatever.
Okay, I didn't. It took me a minute to figure that out. Okay.
They're just streaming out.
And they're just leaving.
Yeah.
Wow.
He only sells out in the Rust Belt and rural America. Like
this is true.
He's one of those acts, right? He's like what I don't know what you call a comedian like that, but that's what he is. He's a bad comic. I don't mean to compare him to a comic. Oh, somebody passed out at the rally. This is his response during that happening. So this is him while this person passed out.
Take your time, Doc. We have time.
Drink some water.
Some people waited here for 2 days. It's tough. It's tough. Thank you.
You know what? Some people did, I'm sure. There's crazy people. Like, yeah.
For sure.
Plenty of time. That's good. Water.
Man, person, woman, camera.
Just drinking a glass of water. Like, isn't this an opportunity for you to be a decent human being? Instead, he's like, "Take your time, doctor. I'm going to drink some water here." Like, I'm not going to pick on that. We can leave it to more like
plenty of time.
But like, that's so fucking sleazy, man.
It's pretty sleazy.
Okay, this is the scene we've all been waiting for. Before the Libertarian Convention, this was the big highlight of the weekend. He did his ski pole dance again. I gotta set this up. So he's dancing. He does his weird herky jerky Elaine dance while he's jerking off two guys.
He's doing the air dicking. Yeah.
Yes. It's not usually to a song whose lyrics are "Hold on, I'm coming."
He was on beat.
Yeah. I love it. And you know who sings that song?
I can't pull it right now.
Sam and Dave.
Of course it is.
I got a couple of jokes here. They're not good. Okay.
Okay.
Mr. Orange face paint. It's not orange. It's salmon. Sam and Dave. Or alternatively, Alan,
Mm.
Scamming Dave.
Scamming
Dave. Yeah.
How about Salmon D?
Salmon D.
Scamming
Like
D.
Sunny D.
Like because Donald, not Dave.
Oh,
so
Salmon D. Yeah.
Salmon D.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say no. Yes, and Alan. Yes,
Yes,
and.
and. Yes, and.
Yeah, Scamming Dave. I don't know what this is. I put pants on. I'm not sure why it says pants on. Let's see. Maybe it was a typo. Oh, he talks. What is he fucking talking about in this clip, dude?
How do you get up in the morning and put your pants on? Where do you put the pants on? I'll explain it to you someday. How do you do it? How do you get up? How do you do it? How can you want to do with what you do? They're after you. They're after you. These horrible human beings are after.
If just imagine if half of that, if Joe Biden said half of that. Can I start it over?
Sure, do it.
That was a really good one.
That was a good one.
I don't even.
How do you get up in the morning and put your pants on? Where do you put the pants on? I'll explain it to you someday. How do you do it? How do you get up? How do you do it? How can you want to do with what you do? They're after you. They're after you. These horrible human beings are after you all the time. How do you get
pants with their pants? Many
I mean,
such cases of pants.
I know what he's talking about. He's saying, so he always says, all my fans are like, how do you have so much stamina? How do you have this incredible energy? How do you do what you do, sir? That's what he's talking about there. He's like, how do you get up and put your pants on every day with all
British
this?
Sudafed. We know the answer.
Right,
British
we do
Sudafed.
know
It still has the fucking method.
Did you see? He said he wanted Biden to have a drug test. Did we already talk about this?
Yeah,
before?
no, I don't think we talked about it on the show. Yeah. If we're gonna do a debate, Biden better do a drug test. It's like, come on. I don't know if it's gonna pick up B12, man. Like they're gonna give him the biggest fucking needle of B12 you've ever seen in your life, and he's gonna be hot for like 3 hours.
Yeah, he's gonna be on point.
Yeah, like the State of the Union. This is good. This is Laura Ingraham. This is talking about the debate. This is might be relevant to that. So this is Laura Ingraham, just in fantasy world. Like she's talking about Joe Biden.
Okay.
Well, she's talking about how I'll let her do it.
It's not presenting.
It's not presenting. Okay. So she's saying basically, so she's saying what she's saying. You should switch the names. Like, I'm not even going to be creative with this. Like you can't be saying this about Joe. She's saying what Trump needs to do is not say anything and just let Joe rant and rave and ramble, like Joe does. Corn Pop was a bad dude. I suppose we got those clips. I mean, they're here. In the
got hairy legs.
I got hairy legs, and I've loved kids jumping on my lap. Corn Pop was a bad dude.
I get it.
Sure.
But you can't say that in contrast to Donald Trump.
Right.
So all Donald Trump has to do is stay calm during the entire debate and let Biden rant and rave because Scranton Joe's looking and sounding meaner and more petty by the day. And then Trump, by comparison, he easily appears presidential, cool, confident.
Like when he bombed Syria.
Trump has like the least amount of impulse control of any person on this planet.
Yeah, like so all Trump has to do is sit there and not eat the first marshmallow. He'll get 2 marshmallows. Like, okay. I don't think he has that chip. Like,
no, I don't think he's capable of that. No.
So this turned out to be the biggest highlight of the weekend in politics. Trump went to a convention where he thought he was going to hang out with a bunch of sexy librarians. Instead, he was stuck with a room full of incels because he misread the invite, Alan. It turned out to be a libertarian,
not librarian.
Not a librarian convention. Yeah. All right.
Easy mistake to make.
Easy mistake to make. I don't have the clip of it, but he did his thing where he stutters through a word and then he says it again. So he's like, you're at the Libertarian Convention. And it's like, he can't say it. He doesn't know it.
Libertarian Party should nominate Trump for president of the United States. What?
He talks with that cadence.
Oh, that's nice.
The people you hear cheering are the rows of people in the front where they kicked out. I got a clip for it. They kicked out a bunch of libertarian delegates and replaced them with pro-Trump people who are there to vote for the Republican Party, right?
Why would the Libertarian Party do this?
Don't you remember like a month ago when I was saying how much of a joke they are that they invited him in the first place? Yes. Well, because the people that are in charge of the Libertarian Party right now, this is their entire goal. They want to get eyeballs. They think that's going to work. But what's really happened ever since they took that tact is they are no longer on all 50 ballots. Before they did that, sure.
Oh, right. We talked about that. Yeah.
Sure. Before they did that, they never got more than 3-5% in an election. Trump even picks on them in an upcoming clip, maybe the end of this clip. But when they got 5% from in an election, they were on all 50 ballots. Now they're in a smattering of ballots around the country. It's been nothing but trouble ever since this group. They're called the Mises Caucus. So they were like, oh, this will bring eyeballs and people will be talking about it. Yeah. All right. Well, you look like a joke and nobody should treat you seriously and you deserve it. Like the libertarians spent so much time trying to get people to realize that they should be taken seriously. And then they leaned into this bullshit.
Well, and the whole thing was like, you know, to the casual outside observers, like, oh, you're libertarian, you're just a different kind of right wing. And then libertarians are like, no, that's not what we are at all.
And then they invited Trump.
And then they invite Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
Only if you want to win. Only if you want to win. Maybe you don't want to win. Maybe you don't want to win. The libertarian.
Wow.
So that's his pitch to the libertarians. Just fucking harass them, right? Like
he's fucking Al Davis from the Raiders. Just win, baby. Just
only
win.
if you want to win. Now think about this. This is a man who was a Democrat largely for most of his life. But when it came time to acquire power, he became a Republican and ran under the Republican ticket.
And he also never won a popular vote.
You're missing the point.
Okay.
Only if you want to win, you should vote.
Right.
Is something that he would say
because that's what he did.
That's what he did. He is a political opportunist that ran under the Republican Party because he knew that they were suckers who would fall for him. And now look what happened to their party.
Yeah, and we've been saying for a while that
libertarians are actually no, fuck you. Some of us actually like these ideas, and we don't want you to fucking hollow out our principled stances, right?
That's so funny because we've been saying it on the show forever. Is that he really doesn't have any political convictions? He just goes whichever way he thinks the populist wind blows, and that's what he's doing.
He's a cynical Bill Clinton, right? Because that was what Clinton was always accused of. It's like going the way the polls said.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an old reference. Nobody remembers that criticism of him anymore. They're like, blowjobs? You mean blowjobs?
Blue dresses. Blue dresses. Right.
Blue dresses. Yeah. Roly polies. So one of his henchmen went out there earlier. I don't really know who this guy is. And he tried to get the crowd rallied with Trump, Trump, Trump. So this chant fails. Again, we say this all the time. It's a small group of people that are very vocal and very loud. And these bullies have convinced everyone in the Republican Party that they better vote for Trump or their party won't win anything. And there's a small group of them at the now here you are at a non-friendly. This isn't a rally in like, rural Pennsylvania or Iowa, right? Now you are, at favorable opposition visiting, opponent's territory, but somewhat favorable, right?
And this is the opening comedian coming on for the headliner and just absolutely fucking
and then you hear the normal people booing over it.
Right.
The chant gets drowned out by boos, which is fun. Yeah. I think that's it for the booing. Oh, wait, one more booing. Go ahead.
One more boo. Okay.
Yeah. Pad for me for a second.
Sure. You can never have too many boos. That's what I always say. A boo in every area code. Preferably
like ludicrous.
Anyone can talk about defending freedom, but I've actually put everything on the line to
you can't say that in a room full of fucking autists that like know your record.
Resist these despots and these stuff.
No, that's not true.
And I stand up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good times.
Yeah.
What a joke.
Look at my record. What? This was actually my favorite chant of the night.
Oh.
More chanting.
So that's good.
Yeah, bro, crit.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's me.
Thank you. Nominate me or at least vote for me, and we should win together.
He does so. He's so unaccustomed. This is like really Lakers fans, like in the mid 2010s, right? They're just so unaccustomed to losing. They're like,
right.
I don't know what it's like to have this. Like, why don't you go back to Iowa and do your rallies, buddy? Like,
it's also a supreme narcissist finally in front of an audience that's like, no, fuck you.
Yeah. What does he do?
You heard those
Laugh it
words.
off. Smile.
I thought I have a clip for it. No, what's he do? He insults them.
Oh.
Yeah. I guess I don't have it. It might have been one of the clips early on. He's like, well, if you want to, if don't vote for me, get 3% in your next. Did you see that clip or no?
No. Is it this one? Is it this one up here? The motion to go.
No, that's the next clip we're gonna play though.
Oh, okay.
You know, the hypocrite chant was pretty good though. It's not quite
It was pretty good.
doesn't have the same ring to it of Build the Wall, but you know, you probably like seeing people chant, right?
Sure, it's always a good chant.
I swore I had a clip for it, but it was probably, I mean, it was really, I think the most popular clip that was played on like news shows already. So you maybe heard it on something else where he was like, fine, don't vote for me, get 3%. If you don't want to win, if you want to get 3%, go ahead. It's like, dude, do you know how much it hurts me to vote with my principles against you in 2016 and see us get 3%? Yeah, fuck you. Like, that's not how you're getting anyone to like you. You fucking narcissist. Like, he literally said, vote for me or go fuck yourself. Right. Like, isn't that another way to say that?
Pretty much. Yes.
So, there are like, look, if libertarians are good at one thing, it's being, in my opinion, not pragmatic enough and a little too dogmatic with their principles. Here's a good example of this.
Okay.
So this is an argument that there's a, let's just call him a nobody. He's probably somebody within the Libertarian Party. He's arguing with the chair of the party because he's been waiting, because before Donald Trump speaks, he wants to have this motion heard by all the delegates and for them to have a vote on it.
Okay.
All right.
It's
So
not
that's going to
presenting.
get, oh, thank you for saying that. That is going to get lost in the conversation because she knows what he's trying to get
to make happen.
Yes. And she's trying to intercept it.
Pertains to RFK and Donald Trump's speaking time. And the motion was submitted hours in advance in writing. And we have filibustered our way out of avoiding a motion co-sponsored by 43 delegates that
These fucking libertarian nerds, right? Like, these are the people that like I try to have conversations with. I'm like, I get your point. And then by the end of the day, they hate me. I'm like, okay, well,
right.
I didn't know we differed on this one little thing, but I like this little, like, hold on, I'm very organized. And in fact, hours ago, me and 43 other people co-signed this, and you're not hearing that, then you're disenfranchising our delegate. He's making good points. He is making good points.
everyone wants to hear in debate.
Mr. Dosbach.
Oh my God. Point of order.
Your point of order is not a point of order. Is
Oh.
that Mr. Real?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
It's not a point of order, and I'm going to continue with.
You're
this.
going to alienate 43 co-sponsoring delegates.
You're gonna
The
wait
media
for
sees
Mr.
you doing it right now.
I'm being
Mr. Dosbach? No,
Yes.
because the vote, it's 29 people who.
Miss
heard the question.
McGardle, I'd like to propose that we go tell Donald Trump to go fuck himself away from here. Yes.
That's one of the 43 others.
That was my motion too. We are a libertarian convention looking to nominate libertarians. We do not need to give that time to non-libertarians.
This is not a GOP cuckolding convention.
Did you say a GOP cuckolding convention?
He did.
You guys, we're almost through it. Please settle down.
I move to vacate the chair.
Point of order.
So the chair is the woman speaking in that.
Right,
He's like,
right.
fine, I move to vacate the chair then. Fucking nuclear option. And nobody would have saw that
hilarious.
if you didn't draw these fucking eyeballs into your convention by bringing a clown show, like a fucking
Yeah. Well, unbelievable.
yeah.
That's
So this is
very
what I was talking about earlier. So they had all this priority seating. I think they explained it in the video. If they don't, I'll explain it.
Get along and come to an understanding and find areas of agreement, even if we don't agree to vote for the same person.
No, they don't explain it. Okay. All right. So what you can see in the video is that up in the front, there's a bunch of Trump supporters that are in the seats, and libertarian delegates found out while they were busy voting, they came back and found out that their priority seating in the room where Trump's going to be speaking had been claimed by Trump fans. Now the libertarian chair is politely asking Trump people to move, but most aren't moving. Shocker, right? Wow, shocker.
Right.
Wow,
Amazing.
almost like January 6th, right? Like, I'm not leaving. You can't make me, right? Yeah, this is what happens. This is what happens. This is literally what happens when you bring in this group of people, right?
It still blows my mind they would do that. It's just,
You know what's funny to me?
Hmm.
In all of these clips, I watched a lot of these clips.
Mhm.
I didn't see one frame of my old roommate. That's got to be bugging the fuck out of him, man.
He's pretty big over there now, yeah?
He's huge over there. You know what I found out over the weekend?
What?
From the comment section from these videos?
Do
People
tell.
are like, okay, fine. Now that we know who the president is, some guy named Chase Oliver. And libertarians hate him because there's a picture of him in a mask and a libertarian logo with a rainbow across it. Like, oh my God, he's inclusive and he thought the disease was worth being concerned about. What a fucking cuck, right? Like,
Wow.
yeah, so they don't like him. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think the Pope has a choice word for him that I don't have on board. But yeah, so they know who their president is going to be. That's what they decided.
The presidential nominee, yes,
is going to be
Chase
Oliver. Yeah. I don't really, fine. Like, I don't have anything negative about him, but it's just like, it's not Spike Cohen. It's not Justin Amash. You know, there's people that could have been taken seriously, especially Amash, but like those people don't want to be associated with you because you do shit like this, right?
Okay.
So I found out in the comment section that most people's preferred vice president choice is my old roommate, Clint Mewey.
What the fuck?
The man who came on Alan. There was a brief period where we hadn't yet realized that the show was me and you.
Right.
Is that fine to say like that?
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Like we were just like winging it at the beginning of the pandemic.
Yeah.
The first guest we ever had on, it was just me and him, I think, right? Were you? It wasn't you, right?
It wasn't me. No.
It's just me and him.
Yeah.
And I was suffering a lot of anxiety about the beginning of the pandemic. I don't know if you remembered this, but it was terrifying. We had no idea how it was spreading. We were spraying down our fucking groceries. Right. And I was saying, I said something along the lines of this. I'm looking out my window right now and I'm seeing nothing but cars driving on the street. It's so busy. I wish these people could just fucking stay home and not spread this. And he heard that as, I want it mandated by the government, right? No conversation about it. His immediate response to that is, I'm an enemy of freedom. I'll have you know, this man was one of my best friends since sophomore year in high school. We were roommates, got kicked out of a 3-bedroom apartment for partying too much. And we're friends for most of our life. And shortly after that, he said, I don't ever want to talk to you again. Because what, like you want me to think that you deserve to be a leader. Let me give you something about him in leadership. At one point I said, I don't like the idea of someone like Donald Trump being a leader that represents me. And he says, I don't believe in leadership. I don't think people should lead people. So, but maybe he wants to be the vice president now.
That's mind blowing, dude.
You want to be vice president, but you can't tolerate a conversation that challenges you from a friend?
Right. A friend of many, many, many years.
Like, go fuck yourself, man. Like,
dude, I remember.
Just for the record, I said his government name. Nobody knows who the fuck I'm talking about because he goes by a fake name. So he could be a politician and a radio podcast guy. I love it. I am thrilled for him that he has had all the success he planned on. I remember him telling me, because I was telling him I was going to start a podcast. He did a podcast with a couple friends of mine until he started fucking one of their ex-girlfriends and they stopped wanting to be friends with him. And he's like, I'm reading this book. This book is from Joe Rogan's old producers. If you follow these steps, you can have a successful podcast. And it all fucking worked for him. And I know what he was talking about. I was like, I don't want to play culture war games. Like, I love it. Our show is the exact inverse.
Opposite.
We're never going to get popular, and that's fine with me. I'm not bitter. I know that this can get isolated and sound that way. I am thrilled for his success. I think it's weird he goes by a fake name. I think it's weird that he couldn't maintain a friendship because I asked him a question. Literally, the thing he said that I'm being a cunt politically about, not a good cunt like we say it, cunt politically about. And he said, he literally was like, I don't want to be friends with you. I don't ever want to talk to you again. He sent me a thread. This is like what blew him up on Twitter. He had a whole thread about how Rittenhouse didn't do anything wrong. And it was the first time anybody had said that in my sphere. And I asked him, and I got like 3 tweets into the thread. And I was like, wait, are you saying that like he's not responsible for this? Asking the way you go like, whoa, hold on.
Explain
really?
Your position,
I don't really feel like reading your fucking 2-hour long tweet thread. Like, can you like tell? And he took that as a challenge and just blew up and said, I don't want to fucking talk to you anymore. This guy's also like cripplingly afraid of nuclear war, which I say that not to shit on him, but it's like, he's like, I am too. Right. But like his whole life had like crippling anxiety over nuclear war. Like, yeah, these are
I mean, I remember.
I didn't have to say that part.
All that shit happened while we were doing the show. I remember the Rittenhouse thing.
It broke my heart. I mean, the last thing I said to him was like, dude, I can't believe you're saying this. If you ever change your mind, I want to be your friend still. And I would send him messages like on his birthday, because he has the same birthday as my brother, and be like, hey man, I'm still here, dude. Like, I don't know why we can't just be friends. We don't have to talk as much, but like I
Right.
hate that we're not friends. And yeah, and then next thing I know, he's the vice president. Like,
Jesus.
please talk. I've been ranting. I really regret saying that thing about the nuclear war. I had a thought about it, but it's just going to sound petty.
No, I just so as somebody who
part's
is just a a third party watching all of this go down, what I will
Oh
say
yeah,
is
sorry
that
for bringing you into all that heat.
no, no,
Okay.
no. What I will say is that you were genuinely like sad about
It
the
makes
loss
me.
of that.
I talked about
friendship.
this with Natasha after I found out about this, and I was
Yeah.
like, I said everything. I was like, I'm so happy for him. I really
Yeah.
am. And then I started thinking about what I could have done differently when our relationship fell apart. And I caught myself halfway through saying it out loud. When it's in your head, you can kind of
Yeah.
run with it. I said it out loud. I was like, no, he had made up his mind with what he wanted to do.
Right.
Like there was nothing I could have said because I tried everything.
Yeah. No, and just like as a friend, it sucks watching that happen to a friend. That's
Oh,
all I
thanks,
would say.
man.
Yep.
Thanks, man. I wish I just let you say that. You know what? And case in point, you're the best, dude. You deal with all my rambling and all my interruptions. And I genuinely hope this doesn't get to him. I'm not saying this to try to get heat on our podcast.
Yeah.
Please don't clip this and send it to him. I'm not saying that.
That's
not
not
saying
our
that the way
intent.
I
Yeah,
say
yeah.
that with Alan, where I say like, hey, please don't isolate that and send me. And he said,
Right,
what did
right.
you say earlier? You love space jizz or
I
something like that.
prefer space jizz.
You remember. Yeah. Jamie knows what to do. I don't even have to ask that stuff anymore. Why do I call James Jamie? I call him Jamie all the time.
Jamie, put that up there, Jamie.
Jamie put that. Yeah, Jamie looked that shit up. All right. Well, you know what? It feels good to get that off my chest. I genuinely hope that doesn't come back to bite me in the ass because I'm sure he's got plenty of shit to talk shit about me about. Oh, Dustin got divorced because his wife cheated on him. Yeah, I told you. Like, yeah, I did tell you that in privacy, Clint. Like, you got me on that one.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Need a shower.
RF. Okay, now can I give you? We're back at the LP convention.
Yes.
Here's RFK. In contrast, knew his audience. This is how you talk to a room full of libertarians.
Okay.
It's going to be RFK talking, so I can't quite say this is how you talk. This is not how one talks. This is the way someone should address with words a room full of libertarians.
I'm very happy to be here today. I'm going to speak about the United States Constitution and particularly the Bill of Rights. A lot of people don't realize that the Articles of the Constitution don't grant citizens any rights or freedoms whatsoever.
That's it. That's how you start talking to a room full of libertarians. Who cares?
Yeah.
About this? So
He
that's
knew his audience for sure.
Nobody's
for sure.
fucking booing him, right?
No.
Vote for me or get 3% again, you fucking losers.
Fucking losers.
Yeah.
Get off my lawn.
Yeah. If Trump wanted to get attention at the LP, let's at least take some advantage of the eyeballs and maybe spread some good messaging. Here is what the guy who was ultimately nominated had to say. I think he has something worth hearing. God, did it again. He says he's the only national candidate, and he compares himself to RFK.
They won't, Joe Biden won't, Donald Trump won't, but I'm saying right now, in genocide, ceasefire now, and support peace around the world. No more proxy wars.
There you go. All right.
No more proxy wars. All right.
Use your platform. If people want to hear what a libertarian thinks, now most libertarians will say he's not, and which is why I'm not a libertarian anymore, because it turns out most libertarians think most libertarians are liars.
Right.
It's insane. It's insane, dude. It's fucking insane.
It's mentally exhausting. I can't even imagine.
That's
doing
why
that.
it's like I could just be an independent and not have to like go through, because also then like when you tell someone you're a libertarian, you have to explain these people to them and why you're different, right?
Right.
So it's like, no, just an independent. And that's like, as much as that might bother you that I'm not in your clan, at least I'm not in this one, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's move on to best of the right. Some of this might overlap. It kind of blurs together, right? Did you know? So my pillow got canceled.
Current offer we have I will tell you that this current offer we have for the War Room Posse has been our #1 offer of the year, and here's why. We had a box store that actually ordered these new percale sheets, and they canceled on us again, everybody. And I said, you know what? We're going to go to the War Room Posse at these wholesale prices. You guys are getting them until they're gone. Once they're gone, they're gone. At these prices, $26.98 for the. I will.
What the fuck?
buy my pillow, buy my sheets. The poor My Pillow guy. So a big box store canceled his order. Shock, right?
Yeah.
Of his percale sheets. By the way, percale sucks.
They're the
Like,
fucking worst sheets. Like
as
they're
someone who
supposed to
sold a
be
lot of sheets, yeah, you have to iron them or they get
Yeah.
wrinkled.
And they're
They're
supposed to be like
usually a lower
cooler,
thread count.
but they're not, and they feel awful. They don't feel comfortable.
If you don't iron them, they feel like shit. If you do iron them, they feel like good percale. Like it's
yes,
yeah, percale
it's not good. It sucks.
And he gets away with it. He's like, "This is a word they don't know. It sounds fancy, right? Oh, percale. What's that mean, right? Like it's probably
Quality
French.
European
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah. Here, this did belong up there with Trump, but it does kind of cross over because it's talking about Nikki Haley. Oh, damn it! I keep closing the window.
First public remarks since dropping out of the race. She said that Joe Biden has been a catastrophe, and she said she's voting for you. I'm sure those were welcome remarks for you, but it also left a lot of people wondering, is there room for her on your team, or better yet, your ticket?
Well, I think she's going to be on our team because we have a lot of the same ideas, the same thoughts. I appreciated what she said. You know, we had a nasty campaign. It was pretty nasty, but she's a very capable person.
He's playing Macho Man in the background.
I heard it.
Why did they have such do you think, are all the village people dead? Like, how are you
Somebody
getting
would protest that, yeah.
And I'm sure she's going to be on our team in some form.
What group of, like, when I think of like the guys driving around with the MAGA trucks and the truck nuts and the Trump flags with his face on Rocky's body, I don't think that in the cab they're playing Macho Man and Sam and Dave.
Absolutely.
They're not a huge fan of Village
Nikki
people.
Haley.
No,
I
I think
so.
they like the construction workers. It's a nice blue
maybe,
cross,
yes.
blue collar job. You know, the motorcycle guy.
Sure.
There's the cops. They like to support the cops, right, Alan?
Sure. Back to blue.
Yeah, yeah. The Navy. They love seamen. You're silly for thinking that, Alan.
They're big Seaman fans over there.
Did you see Nikki Haley visited Rafa?
I did see that.
Did you see her sign the bomb, finish them off?
I did see that.
She's like, I'm not running anymore. Who cares?
I mean, is that on the scale of tone deafness? Is that somewhere below shooting your dog? I mean, I guess
It's below shooting the dog. Yes.
yeah, but it's adjacent, perhaps.
Yeah, you didn't have to. Like,
You didn't
like
have
I
to do
get it.
that.
A lot of people responded when I shared that. They were like, "Oh, you should see the stuff we sign and the stuff we send to Ukraine." It's like, no, you're missing the point. This is a
Yeah.
presidential candidate that's just like on her guided tour by Israelis, right? Because that's the thing, right? All these people, like when Elon goes there, they get taken everywhere that the Israelis want them to see things,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
they're like, "Oh, you should." You know, it's like going to church camp and you're like all riled up. You're like, yeah, finish them off. They were right. Now I make them sound.
I mean, wait, does that make her a useful idiot? Is that what that?
I think it does. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it
I'm not
does.
shocked, but yeah. De Niro. So De Niro. So all the penguins have been going up there dressed up like in their Trump suits because the media is there. Well, De Niro went up there with 2 January 6th police officers. Side note, I don't know if he said this at this little press conference he held there, but it came out that he's been on the Biden payroll since his last campaign. So
Wait, De Niro has?
De Niro has. That explains all those like Trump things he's been saying. Yeah.
Why would he need to be on payroll? That's
As
really
messaging, get some celebrities to message. Oh, maybe not payroll. Sorry. He's been on the campaign. So
Okay,
maybe it's a free position. Yeah. Okay.
he's a volunteer. Okay.
Yeah,
That's still like, when will Democrats realize that these celebrity endorsements aren't helping? Like
Yeah.
getting
Oh.
De Niro to go out there and say whatever he's going to say.
Have you
is
heard
not-
this?
I'm aware he came out and talked.
I thought it was pretty good, but
Okay.
it's like it's going to be ineffectual, right? Like it's
Yeah,
only
yeah.
going to mean something to the people that were predisposed to believe it.
Yeah, so you're not going to gain anybody by doing this, and you
Case in
are
point.
going to give people fire.
Case in point, wait till the end of this clip.
Okay.
Donald Trump wants to destroy not only the city, but the country, and eventually he could destroy the world. We New Yorkers used to tolerate him when he was just another grubby real estate hustler masquerading as a big shot, a too-big playboy lying his way into the tabloids. But this city is pretty accommodating. We make room for clowns. We have them all over the city. People who do crazy things in the street, we tolerate it. It's part of the city, it's part of the culture. But not a person like Trump who will eventually run the country. That does not work, and we all know that. He'll use violence against anyone who stands in the way of his megalomania and greed. Too long. But it's a coward's violence. You think Trump ever threw a punch himself or took one? This guy who ran and hid in the White House bunker when there were protesters outside.
Coward's violence. I thought that's I think the line that stood out to me the most.
That is a good
No
one.
way. He doesn't get blood on his hands. No, he doesn't. He directs the mob to do his dirty work for him by making a suggestion. You are gangsters.
Like you said. So everything you said before I played this clip, get ready, Alan.
You are gangsters. You're washed up. Fuck you.
You're a little punk. You're a softy. You're a nobody. Your movies suck. You're trash.
I hate Goodfellas. I always hated Goodfellas.
Donald Trump.
Your movies suck.
Oh man, I will say it was a good speech. Like he had some good points.
Yeah, but it's too long because that was
it's too long.
Like, that was all cut together.
He was right about. So Trump did call like magazines and during his time as a real estate tycoon and tell them like pretend to be somebody else.
He pretend to be his publicist. He had a fake name for it. Michael Mara had the guy on his show.
Right. And so he would call like tabloids to get himself in the news positively and say, it was a whole thing he did. And it was just like, why do you need that? But that was just an indication of the narcissism that we would see later on, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that wasn't included because that was clipped down was De Niro said Trump will never leave, which we talk about it all the time. But I think it's remarkable that like everyone in showbiz that's interacted with him knows this trait from him. Like that was the first thing I think it was on Rogan, because Rogan did an End of the World podcast during the 2016 election.
Oh yeah.
And it was like a marathon show at the Wiltern, I want to say. And Jeff, who's the guy that does the roasts? Jeff Ross was there. And Jeff Ross, the very first thing he said was, this guy's never going to leave office. And he fucking tried not to leave office, right? Like that's the whole reason we're in these trials.
January 6th happened for a reason. Yeah.
In general, let me ask you a question before I play this clip. In general, do you think the American public wants to enact term limits or abolish term limits?
I think probably enact term limits.
Right. Yeah, because we're ran by a geriatric kleptocracy, right? Where it's just like these
like
90-year-olds
Pelosi's
won't die to get their brains exchanged. Are gonna like we got all the money and we're in charge.
Brains exchanged.
As long as we saw that.
We did. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and they'll just stay in power as long as they can. Like we got to put term limits or they'll never fucking leave. Oh my God. So this is Michael Knowles. Just a very insincere person, but he knows how to make those faces at you while he talks. And if you're gullible, you buy it. Car salesman, right? Look at that. Look at that flag he's got on his desk, Alan. That's the Alito flag at the beach house.
Oh, it is. How about that?
Isn't that something?
Isn't that something?
So here's Michael Knowles.
Trump is just incredible. Abolish term limits. Make him president for life. I'm joking, sort of, even though actually Ronald Reagan, his last political crusade was to abolish term limits. Also just saying that, but hey, I digress. Regardless, Trump.
I'm joking, really. I'm not kidding at all, but we should.
What's funny is Reagan's last speech was America is a shining city on the hill. And one of his last lines was like, talking about like being more accepting for immigrants and keep bringing Ronald Reagan's stuff.
Yeah.
Remember when people kept getting mad at Jay-Z for quoting Biggie lyrics, and Nas was like, how many more Biggie's rhymes are going to come out your fat lips? I think about that all the time in relation to people talking about Reagan around Trump.
Yeah, I mean, Reagan would not recognize the current Republican Party as it is by any means. Like
Reagan wouldn't recognize a lot of things, though, but that has to do with dementia and whether or not he was getting brain from Nancy.
That's fair. That's fair.
Brain. Nobody says that anymore. Speaking of old hip hop. All right. Here, let's play Tim Pick Me Scott. Oh, that would have been really cool if I had it ready. Let's play Tim Pick Me Scott.
You have faith that the jury is going to deliver a fair verdict? Well, there's no crime, so I assume that they will actually find him innocent. The only person guilty in that courtroom is D.A. Bragg, guilty of corruption.
Now, if Trump said this, he would be violating the gag order, but he gets like people dressed up just like him to go on TV and say, please pick me.
He's got surrogates to do it for him.
I will say the things you can't say anymore.
The justice system, guilty of not doing his job, and guilty of trying to frame an innocent man.
How is he guilty of not doing his job? They're just saying things, right?
It seems like he's doing his job pretty well. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if anything, you should say he's guilty of doing his job too much. Like he was doing it too much now. This was yeah, but he can't be not doing his job.
Overdoing his job.
Yeah.
It's really the two-tier justice system that has so many Americans.
It's almost like we live in a world where if you're president, you still get treated. How do you turn that into a two-tier justice system? Like if he it's because they want to get out in front of it, because if he gets away with it, there's a two-tier justice system.
Right. It is a two-tier justice system. You're right, but you're just wrong about what causes that. Yes.
Pick me. You know, if Trump doesn't pick Tim Scott, maybe he'll pick Cotton.
I see what you did there.
Tom Cotton's a person.
Yes, I see what you did there.
It doesn't have anything to do with Tim Scott's hair, skin color. That's not what I meant. I realized it after I said it. Maybe I should have put this after a different candidate. That is too spicy even for me. I do not mean it in that way.
Yeah.
No. You cannot say that, Dustin. Oh my God. So Marjorie Three Toes thought she was sort of tucked away at a little corner of the airport. Somebody saw her and viral goes viral.
Blonde Bad Bill, how you doing today?
Beach Blonde Bad Built. How you doing today? Let me play it again. Hold on. It's not loading. It's not loading. So dumb.
Blonde Bad Bill, how you doing today?
It's at the beginning too soon. I got it too soon at the beginning, but that's pretty good.
That's pretty good.
She's not having it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got dumbass Marsha Blackburn in here. The show's getting long, but why not? I always talk about how Tennessee has such bad Republicans, and I'm like, dude, I'm fine living in a Republican state. I just wish they weren't dumb. By the way, the amount of times I say something like that in Instagram is like, are you sure you want to put it like that? People have been reported when they say it like that. I'm like, fine. And then you have to use like a simile, and they're like, AI can't tell. That's fine. Is that appropriate use of simile?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Constitutionally unsound rulings like Griswold versus Connecticut, Kelo versus City of New London, and NFIB versus Sebelius.
Griswold, Connecticut is gay marriage.
Confused Tennesseans and left Congress wondering who gave the court permission to bypass our system of checks and balances.
She is right when she says that it confuses Tennesseans. I will say that. If they're going to vote for her, then there's a lot of head scratching. Just look at, like, when I say this, do you get what I mean? Because you never hear her talk, because she's not a good culture warrior. Just if you're going to culture war, be good at it. And she's not. She's just like a church mom. Like this, and this is how she gets away with it, because it's not outrageous enough to lose an election.
Constitutionally unsound rulings like Griswold versus Connecticut, Kelo versus City of New London, and NFIB versus Sebelius confused Tennesseans and left Congress wondering who gave the court permission to bypass our system of checks and balances.
Oh, it's literally what checks and balances are.
Right. Yes. It's a good question, Marsha.
Can you explain that? Because it sounds like you're reading.
Yeah, it really does.
She doesn't know those words, Alan. God, she doesn't have a fucking congruent thought in her head. I will say this guy's got a point. These mouthy broads, Minnesota.
Rube, white, rural, Christian, heterosexual, male, nationalist, that
I don't know what Steve Bannon's talking about. We're getting there.
Are just focused on their wives being too mouthy, sir.
Yeah. Well, look, let's just be frank. Women have become too mouthy. As the black man in the room, I'll say that. I don't know whether we're talking white men or Asian men or black men or so on and so forth. But no, I mean, I'm serious.
You know who this guy is?
No, I don't know.
This is Royce White. He used to be in the NBA, and he's probably most famous for a few years ago putting up a tweet that says like, I have a 10-inch dick in response to somebody making a cogent thought. Like I use those words twice in a row, but yeah, somebody made like a political statement. He's like, well, yeah, I do have a 10-inch dick, so that means I can say this. Like, what?
Wow.
I mean, there was, and the thing that is scary about it, and then I say this, and people will go, "Oh,
hold
well,
it, hold it." Can I officially say that Joy Reid's Black Girl Magic does not work with Royce White? Can we? I just want to make sure. Hey, don't.
I don't even know.
Wow.
I just love that he's like these mouthy broads in Minnesota. He's like, well, it's the black guy in the room.
I can say it.
Yeah, it's like, no, that doesn't mean you can say it. No, in fact, I don't think you should say that. No.
They really have gotten too mouthy. I
Yeah.
can say it.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Okay.
All right, let's move into best of the left here. We're landing the plane shortly.
Okay.
I got 4 clips here and then a question for you.
All righty.
Perhaps a twofer. We'll see. Okay, one more wrapped up in the left. Oh, I tricked you. I wrapped this up into the left, but it's really making fun of the right. You know how much I like to do that. So this is Jared Moskowitz, Democrat from Florida. Moskowitz makes me think of Five Goes West.
We must have a Wowie.
Oh, wowie.
Only millennials get that joke. Yeah, so he's Crockett, the lady that told us Crockett. I think I have a clip of her. Hold on, Alan. Crockett. If you don't remember Crockett, she's from a couple of weeks ago when she reminded us.
MTG
Don't come for me. Don't come for me. Don't come for me.
Yes, do not come.
Yeah.
Do not
said
come.
you couldn't
Crockett.
see through her eyelashes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so Crockett made some point saying how this 118th GOP-led Congress hasn't accomplished anything, and this is his retort to that. A witty retort.
It's a little awkward when you want to disagree with someone on your side of the aisle, but I have to dramatically disagree with my colleague, Ms. Crockett, who used data and statistics and facts to claim that this is the least productive Congress in modern history. First of all, this Congress removed the speaker, okay, which has never happened in the history of the Republic. That's clearly that's a big accomplishment in the 118th. This Congress took 15 rounds to even elect that speaker that they then removed, right, which was historic in its own right. And then they removed a member of their own party. That hadn't happened in 20 years, so kudos to them. They've had a failed impeachment of a president. I don't think we've seen that happen in a really long time. This Congress did impeach a cabinet secretary, though, without meeting any constitutional threshold. We haven't seen that happen in 150 years. This Congress wants to hold Merrick Garland in contempt and then possibly arrest him. I don't think we've ever seen that in the history of the Republic. We've seen a failed motion to vacate to remove a second speaker. Again, history in the 118th. And who could forget that this Congress, on behalf of the American people, saved gas stoves and ovens and toasters and blenders and dishwashers from the communist grip. It's a little awkward.
I fucking hate him. I hate him so much for that.
It's really funny.
It is. Oh God, I would fucking hate him though. Like it's so obnoxious, but it's
the sarcasm's on point for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got some Biden clips for you, dude.
Okay.
He's not getting out of here without getting called out on shit. Come on. You might be a dyed in the wool, but I'm an independent, Alan.
I'm going to say something outrageous.
Oh.
I have never been particularly poor at calculating how to get things done in the United States Senate.
Oh, the dogs are upset by this.
Yeah.
So the best way to get something done, if it holds near and dear to you that you like to be able to.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Do you think if I didn't interrupt it, it would have sounded better or no?
I think it was
like I've never had trouble getting anything done. So if anything's near or dear to you, and then just keep in mind, this is really important to me. I forgot.
Yeah,
I mean, I do that all the time.
Right. But president.
Yeah. Anyway.
I feel like the anyway might need to be in the soundboard. I don't know.
Yeah, I could try.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of work.
Anyway.
I'm going to do that. I'm joking. I got KJP stepped in it big time. It's actually kind of funny to watch this happen.
Your Secretary
Corinne Jean-Pierre.
of Education said, "We congratulate those borrowers on their due forgiveness."
So what's going on here is the
student debt stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember who he just said he was citing, but somebody within the administration put out a statement that said, we congratulate those borrowers on their due forgiveness, which controversial language, right? Like, why is that
Sure.
controversial? Like,
The due part, the same thing they're owed it.
like, it's like seems like you took out a loan. Like, I think it's fantastic that you're having your loan forgiven, especially when if we forgive everybody's loans, it's a drop in the bucket compared to how much money we just give away to Ukraine. But like, sorry, I think it's worth pausing. I think it's worth pausing on that. He's got a point, and he's going to keep making it. I paused him at a psycho face.
It's quite.
I'm just wondering why people who take out a loan to go to school, then go to school, why are they due forgiveness?
Everybody has a different story as to
she didn't have to say any of these words.
Why they need student loans. Everybody has a different reasoning as to why they want to go to college. I cannot speak for everyone.
Why is forgiveness due to them?
What we have been very clear about is the system, the student loan system needs.
Would it kill her to say maybe she could have said that better?
Yeah, that would have been the easy way.
Does it just show like a lack of unity within the party? Like, who the fuck cares, right? Like, break the mold, be different than everybody else who's afraid of like nobody's going to come after the entire administration because you said one thing about this.
Well, and you could say, look, we're proud of what we've been able to do in forgiving student loan debt. We think it's a good thing for the economy, and we think it's good for the country.
And you can have a good moment and be like, you know what? Right. Perhaps you have a good point. The word "due" there,
perhaps "due" doesn't fit in that sense.
Nobody's going to care. Like nobody.
No,
oh my god, she's not going to chew you out next time she's at a party with you.
No,
like,
it's fine.
You should chew her out for putting you in that fucking spot.
Yeah.
I think this is our last clip. This new Biden ad goes fucking hard, man.
Okay.
Americanist shared this. Oh, what? Americanist didn't share this. Why is this private? I'm not logged in on my page, Alan. I got to play it off the phone.
Off the phone. All right. We can do this. We can call an audible.
All right. Can you give me a timestamp?
Timestamp. I don't.
Oh, you don't have the time.
I don't have a timestamp. Yeah.
Okay. And hold on. Okay.
Yeah.
It's right here. Did you hear that?
Yes. That was a well-placed bark.
That was. Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
Bernie, the ultra-rich are fucking up.
Hold on. Why is it here? That's not where I was. Okay.
Bernie.
I'm going to get it one of these times.
It's going to happen.
Why?
Bernie was right. The ultra-rich are fucking up society for everyday Americans. That's why I'm proposing a national billionaire hunt. That's right, folks. We're going after the big game. I'm talking about a nationwide manhunt. We're going to bag us some billionaires. That's what we're running for re-election. Some people might say, isn't this just class warfare? And to them, I say, yeah, it is. But who says class warfare can't be fun? It should be a retribution. It's time to put on our big boy pants and big girl pants and big they-them pants and say enough is enough. We're going to take back our country one billionaire at a time.
Take the shot.
Let's call it the Purge. Billionaires. Let's finish this job. I know we can.
It's so uplifting. All right.
Who says class warfare can't be fun? That's I've been saying that for decades. Really,
might as well have fun with it.
Might as well have
like,
fun.
It's gonna be there anyway. It's like our show, right? It's like they're gonna do culture war. We'll have fun.
Yeah, we'll have fun with it.
Yeah. That wasn't Americanist. I did not mean to give him credit. I think he shared it though, so I saw it. Okay, I think it's just only thing left is ask you a question or two.
Okay.
When did people stop saying bye bye? I heard it in a movie and I was like, I don't think people say bye bye anymore.
I haven't heard anybody say bye bye in like forever.
I feel like it was. I don't think it's just childish. I think it just feels childish now. Like people just say bye bye.
They just say bye now, or
yeah.
They say,
I guess it saves time. Like the second bye is
it seems redundant, I guess. But I don't know where you draw the line culturally where that happened. I'm not sure. It did.
I feel like it was in our lifetime, though.
I agree.
People used to say bye-bye.
They did.
Now
Definitely
it
in the
would be
90s.
very sarcastic. If it was like, okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Nobody does that.
Oh, it would be weird. It would stand out if you heard someone say it.
Yeah, that is weird.
One more.
Okay.
Have you ever tried those ribbed condoms?
Sure.
They just taste like latex and spermicide, though. They don't taste good at all.
They don't even taste like ribs, bro.
Not even a McRib. Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Hey, you got to play the outro, though.
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Okay, hold on.
We're going to land this plane. We got
Okay.
this.
Oh, now we have 3 recordings in the audio. Because I stopped the recording.
Oh, no.
I'll get used to this sooner or later. This sure is saving time.
When a guy's banging you,
Y'all let me in his damn house.
oh, how about that?
Come in the name of peace.
LMFAO.
So what in the world is this?
Is Kevin McCarthy a moron, and if so, why?
Why would you say something that stupid?
I come without explanations or solutions.
I'm a very sexy lady.
Cat turd.
I will not suffer this harlot. How great! An anti-American Marxist.
Ted Cruz, go fuck yourself.
Read the news. China is asshole.
God bless the United States.
Podcasting